live with the juice. Welcome to the stream. What it do, guys? It's that boy, the juice. We got to dive back in. It's day 51 since Nancy Guthrie has gone missing. It looks like we do got some exciting news that may not be exciting to everyone tonight that I had to share and express with everybody. I kind of want to go back a little bit tonight, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and I'm kind of going to be everywhere with this story just to talk about a few things. We all know that Nancy went missing February 1st. February 1st. Let me get that right, because somebody in the comments section was getting on my head about that. And speaking of comments, I want to, go back and read a few of those comments at the end, because there were so many comments on the last video. Big welcomes to those that are tuning in tonight, by the way. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Just wanted to make sure I was up, because I didn't even make sure my live was up right now. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to read a few of the comments that were commented on the last video, because there were so many, and like I said before, I want to, start reading some of the comments here on the live here, although I won't be able to read all of the comments. But anyway, yeah, somebody got on my head yesterday in the comments section. I'll read one of them. It says, "If you don't stop, please go back and watch where you called her Nancy Grace." I did call her Nancy Grace. I saw that part. I realized that because I usually watch my streams. Then she goes on to say, "And then you went and said January 1st. It was February 1st. Get your shit together off air. So when you come on, sir, I am not looking at you stupid." That was. Hey, thank you for that. A lot of people. I told everyone, drop a comment, let me know what I could do better. You can let me know what I mess up too. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Thanks for your comment. Like I said, we'll read the comments at the end. Stay tuned if you want to, hear what I have to say about your comment. If I read one of your comments, because like I said, I won't be able to read them all. But anyway, let's dive in. Let me get it right. We all know Nancy went missing February 1st, okay? The night before that, she visited her daughter Annie's home. And later that night, well, first of all, she took an Uber to Annie's. They didn't even pick her up. And then, later that night around 9 o'clock, she went home. And, Annie's husband, which would be Nancy's son-in-law, took her home that night. And then later on, they discovered, she was missing because Nancy didn't go to church that Sunday. And I guess, it was... Nancy doesn't actually go to church. She goes somewhere to watch the church, I guess. But anyways, she didn't come back, okay? She was not there. She was no longer home that very day on February 1st. So I want to recap what's been recently happening, though. I don't want to dive into the whole story. If you know what's going on with the Nancy Guthrie thing. I think we've kind of gave a recap of the story of what's going on enough times for people to be in tune based on what's going on. So I just want to recap a few things here that I believe it might have been New York Post who put out the news here that I want to read that they had said. I have it pulled up here, but I'm trying to see where I had left off here. But right now, investigators, for the most part, recently they've been back in the neighborhood. They're going door to door, just asking neighbors questions about the situation, and not to say that it has anything to do with anything, but I think they're just, at this point, they're trying to dig up something. The real thing that they're looking at right now, from what I heard, is that vacant property. So the they said that the former officials said that the authorities are likely examining any empty homes near Nancy's dwelling. For this reason, investigating whether those responsible for her disappearance used any local properties as a staging area before carrying out the crime. So they think that that vacant home is something that they use to stage. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I don't think so. I feel like that vacant home, Nancy, there's a possibility that Nancy could be in the vacant home. I'm just not really seeing it fitting the theory that there are, guys working on the vacant home, and then, it brought attention somehow to Nancy's house. I'm just not feeling it. But I think that their focus is on that vacant home right now. And the February, I believe it's 11th and the 21st. Don't quote me on it. I can't remember the exact dates, but they're focused on 2 dates right now for whatever reason. I don't know where that's supposed to land the plane as far as finding our suspect, but that's pretty much all that's really going on besides Nanos. There's a petition going on. They're going around trying to get some signatures. I believe the goal is to get 1,000 signatures to get Nanos out. So we'll see if that happens. I believe there is a deadline, and I can't remember if that deadline is June or July. But there is a deadline. It sounds very doable to get 1,000 signatures, just because there's so many people in tune to this investigation. So I think that's going to happen very easily. But at the same time, the twist is you got to be a local for the most part. You have to live somewhere in the Pima County area. So that's the twist. We can't have people from all, if we're able to get a bunch of people from all over the world, this thing would have been done in a snap. But it has to be locally, from what I'm hearing. So that's the catch right there. I don't know if we'll get 1,000 locally. I don't know how my community, because I'm from Tucson, Arizona, I don't know how my community feels about the signatures. And as far as, getting Nanos pretty much fired, getting him out of office. So we'll see. I honestly want to see if I can figure out the number on the signatures. At this point, I don't know if they're sharing that though. But they want people to go out and sign. They want people to they want to get those signatures. So we'll see what happens. Pima County Sheriff Matt, is it Hines, I want to say. He had an opinion on Nanos, and he was telling Republic, when you see something this troubling and serious going on with one of the county office holders, it's very important for us to investigate it as fully as possible and find out more information. And then he went on to say this man is been living a fraud for 43 years in Pima County, that he would like him removed. So I thought that was super interesting, coming from a Pima County supervisor. It's kind of crazy to me. That's just crazy. But there's just been a bunch of, we talked about Nanos a lot yesterday. There's just been a bunch of really, really odd things going on. And I just feel like day 2, something was off, and I don't think we took notice of it up until pretty much now. We realized there were some things odd right off the rip, but something is just odd. Something is not right to me. I'm just, Nanos is really just pushed all help to the side. Like, he doesn't even want any help whatsoever, to me, it seems like, with this investigation. I mean, I think search and rescue was supposed to show up at one point. I don't even know if they showed up. But the country Navy, I keep saying this, they were going to come out, they were going to help out. They needed Nanos' approval to go ahead and do this search. He's pretty much denied every bit of help that he's had. He's gotten rid of investigators, certain I believe detectives. From what I'm hearing, he kept the rookies and not the veterans. So I mean, this is crazy. But anyway, I think the exciting news today that, like I said, won't be all that exciting is I was watching JLR earlier, and I guess according to JLR, there's some names out there from purchases, I think, within this town, I would assume, of a firearm. So I wanted to play that because he's talking about the list of names, and then he goes on to give the list of names. And they're all just only last names. They're only last names, though. And I looked up every single one of the last names, and one of the last names was, or all of the last names were Persian, like Arabic, Iranian. I guess maybe all of those have similarities. I don't know nothing about them, when it comes to those. I don't know nothing about those, but I did look them all up, and they were all Persian. So I don't really know what this means. I don't know if I'm all that excited about it. Let's just play the video.
That stayed with Nancy at some point and got fired appears in 2023, years back, a few years back. So it was 3 years. Lot can happen in 3 years. But there's a list. I don't know if the rest of the names are affiliated with the healthcare worker, but all of them seem Persian to me. I looked at each and every one of those names and see Persian. Remember, folks, she got a guest house. We always wondered what's up with the guest house. Who stays in the guest house? Guest house right here. Who stays in her guest house? Somebody must be staying. The guest house is for a reason. Maybe, for years she had healthcare workers keeping her company and everything like that. Just recently, no healthcare worker that was staying in the house that we know of. Just her alone. But it appears 3 years back, at least 3 years back and beyond, I don't know how far back, she actually had somebody living with her in the guest house. And I'm told that. Probably why the guest house is there. I don't know. Doing what type of healthcare work for her? Trying to get her sharp as attack? Just keeping her mental.
I had no idea that Nancy had somebody in the back in the guest house that was, I guess, working for her, and that she fired that person a couple years ago. I don't know how he got this information, but
taking care of her physically, I don't know. That's why we have to sleuth and try to figure out this together, and try to figure out more and more. Hi, Doug.
Hello, JR.
Hello. How are you? Where are you from?
It's me again, East Tennessee.
East Tennessee. Doug.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I'm the guy that brought up the horse deal.
The horse. The horse. Coming in on horses.
Yeah.
Old Town Road.
Yep. Last night I was watching your stream, and I noticed something. I've been watching your show for the last 50 days, and I noticed something last night.
Have we all? Like, who hasn't been watching JLR the last 50-something days, man, or 50 days?
Nobody has talked about it. And it just, boom, it hit me like, wow. Can you bring up the picture of the with him her up on the steps?
Right there? Here, I'm that good with him, her?
Where he's walking up on the steps.
Where he's walking up like this? Oh, okay, yeah. The video. Okay. All right. Like this. What do you got?
Yes. Yeah, that'll work. I believe, after seeing this last night, if you see them other buckles down there around his chest, they're not shining. That backpack has reflectors on it.
Mm-hmm.
They determined that already.
And the reason why I said, I believe they parked the car down the street somewheres, parked the car down the road somewheres, and he walked up, and I don't believe he had the mask on, or her didn't have the mask on until they got up closer to the house. Because if you saw him out there at 2 o'clock in the morning with a mask on walking down the road, somebody's going to call law on him. But I believe they parked down the road, and that's the reason why he's got that type of backpack with the reflectors on it, in case if a car did come down the road, they'd seen, or her. But I don't believe he had the mask on.
Nah, I'm not buying that. I think he had the mask on before he got out of the car. While he was in the car, I think that's when he put the mask on. And then once he got out of the car, then he put the mask on. I'm not buying that at all. Anyway, I don't know why I was listening to that. These are the names that JLR took to his X. I want to call it Twitter because that's what it was. But these are the last names. And I believe they got these last names from the gun store. And like I said, I looked them all up just to confirm. They are all Persian. What this means, I have absolutely no idea. But like he mentioned, they're Iranian. So I don't know. I don't really know what to think about that. I really don't. It definitely doesn't lead me in the direction of, dang, yeah, we're really getting somewhere. I'm not really feeling like that still. Obviously, JLR knows a lot more than I do, but I think I'm not seeing where this is taking us as far as them getting last names. That doesn't really determine whether or not they have suspects, and even if they do, what do they know? Because they still have to put these guys there. And how did they even come up with these? They came up with the last names from the gun stores. But how are these guys? How do they have any? How are they affiliated with the Nancy Guthrie investigation? I just don't understand how they would be affiliated. I'm assuming because of the particular gun that they bought. I'm assuming that they're able to determine what kind of gun this guy has. This guy has, just by looking at the butt of the gun in the video. So I was wondering that as well. Like I think they should be able to determine what kind of gun exactly that is. I don't know if they've ever mentioned it. I haven't heard anybody mention what type of gun that exactly is, but I'm pretty sure FBI agents were able to figure that out.
Middle Eastern. Get that Middle Eastern look here. One thing that I find very, very interesting, I see a lot of people piling in. Come on in. This is crazy stuff. I can also confirm that one of those names on the list is associated with Nancy Guthrie. One of those names on the list is associated with Nancy Guthrie. There you go. We might have a possible lead here of an angle. Doesn't mean these people are involved whatsoever. The feds are definitely looking into those names and people that purchased guns in those names. Breaking: Nancy Guthrie once had an Iranian healthcare worker staying with her in her guest house that she fired a few years back. This is 100% fact.
Where's Tonto National Forest? Jen Big Welcomes, by the way. Jen says they think they I think that they dumped her in Tonto National Forest. What? Where's that at?
An Iranian healthcare worker. Now, I know who it is. We're not going to put the name out right now. You could do your own independent research. This is not rocket scientists, folks. But this is very, very interesting. So 2 and 2 makes sense to me here. Are the federal government FBI leaning towards possibly somebody affiliated with this Iranian healthcare worker, extended family, associates, that triggered these names. And one of those names is the worker. Last time, I'm not going to identify names and say, because I'm, be totally innocent.
How does he know this?
We have to have conversations here because we're day 50 and we still don't know what happened to Nancy Guthrie. Let's do a little research. Doing a real research here on these names. And I said, where is it at? Iranians in Arizona. How many Iranians or Persians? How many in Arizona? A lot live in the Phoenix area. Not so much in Tucson. Estimates of Iranian population in Arizona vary, with recent figures suggesting 9,000 to 20,000, largely concentrated in the Phoenix metropolitan area. Many in this community are part of the that immigrated from the 1979 Iranian Revolution, with significant numbers also settling in cities like Scottsdale. Now, this happened weeks ago in reference to gun store. We also heard from the other gun store guy who came on the record. What was that guy's name? He went on the record that said, when they came in there, they had a list of faces and names that were not American recognizable names. Was it this list? So I got this from a gun dealer.
I don't want to get too distracted on these lists of names, just simply because I'm really careful at this point on what to sit here and have hope on, because every time we get a lead or we think we have a lead, it ends up a dead end. I'm really not feeling this one. I don't know why JLR is real confident in this one, but I maybe it'll come back that he's right on this one. But I'm gonna have to disagree with this one. I'm just not feeling this whole last name thing going on. I haven't really heard them talk about this as far as news. Maybe that'll be in one of the updates news tomorrow. But I don't think this is gonna be associated with Nancy at all. Just like I feel like the abandoned home, it's a possibility. It's good thinking, but I'm just not seeing that either. I think the hardest thing for FBI, investigators or detectives to do is be that criminal, because you really got to be that. You got to be that criminal. You got to just try to get a feel for. And I think that's a part of, them getting the information, is them just trying to figure out how this person thinks, figure out who this person is. They really got to be the criminal. But that's the best way I can really explain it.
Scottsdale. In a particular area. Paradise Valley. Paradise Valley. Does anyone want to have a discussion? There's the email at the bottom of the tips.
Guys, why doesn't anybody have, why isn't there any videos of the interview that Savannah did with the Epsteins? Was it NBC? Why did they, why did Savannah do the interview if it wasn't going to be a public interview anyways? I don't understand that. And who convinced the Epsteins to do a video or interview with Savannah? Was it Savannah herself, or was it, not News Nation, NBC? Was it them who maybe convinced the Epsteins to even do an interview? Because what I heard, she interviewed about 6-7 people. One of the interviews I heard Savannah made somebody upset. I don't know. I don't know what to think on the whole Epstein thing either. I'm so everywhere with this investigation. I don't know what to think anymore. And I remember a month ago, Valuetainment was talking about that. And they shared something super, super creepy that I wanted to share with you guys. And this is something that I haven't seen that I thought was super interesting in reference to the Epsteins. And I don't want to get anybody mixed up and steer anybody in the wrong direction or anything like that. But I feel like it is a possibility that the Epsteins, could play a part in this. Just, is this maybe a warning shot from the Epsteins, and not to turn it into an Epstein thing, but listen to this video real quick. I mean, I think this was really, really interesting. So this might change your thoughts a little bit if you hadn't seen this. And they did this about a month ago.
I want to get to the next story here. Next story I want to get to, which is kind of weird. We've all been following this story very closely, because it's tragic when you hear siblings sitting there and all of a sudden their mother is missing at, how old is she? 84 years old?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. And this incident happens, and then the more and more you keep seeing stuff, the link to when it happened, when the announcement was made. Apparently the people that have their mother is now asking for, did you say, Rob, $6 million in Bitcoin is what they're asking for? And then there's a we're willing to pay, we're willing to do this, we're willing to do that. Rob, which clip is this? This is
Savannah Guthrie talking about paying the ransom.
Okay, go for it, Rob. Go ahead.
We received your message, and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Okay, Vinny, thoughts?
Okay, well, obviously tragic story, but at the end of the day, when something this massive happens, Tommy, I have to be like, why? Why her? Why Savannah on this level of this stage? Right. And I just want people to know that there's a fact. Savannah Guthrie, she's in the Epstein files. Rob, can you please put this up?
And
Rob,
from what I heard, Savannah is in the Epstein files 18 times, maybe even more. And they literally dismantled all of the times that her name was mentioned in the files.
You show it. By the way, this is all my assumption, this is all my allegation, but she's in the Epstein files. And if you go
redacted.
up right there, this is, I don't know who this is, Pat. I'm assuming because they redacted everything on the highlighted yellow, and keep going down. Click on that one right there. Pat, if you read this, they obviously black redacted everything.
Can't see anything. You can read it.
I got you. Just wanted to give you a heads up. She's done another interview with Savannah Guthrie. I'm assuming they're talking about Virginia Guthrie. In that, she said the following. She was interviewed by the FBI in 2011 by a blank. In the interview, she gave the names of all the girls she helped to traffic. All right. She also interviewed the SDNY, no time frame. 2 other women also tell DOJ that Epstein specifically trafficked them to other men. Number 4, there are cameras in the New York City house and others where he could watch people in the bathroom and elsewhere. They're planned to air it on Today and this Friday's Dateline. Okay. Another fact. Savannah Guthrie is the first mainstream television journalist to interview an Epstein survivor. And then in 2015, again, this is all my speculation, Pat. I'm just out there going down this freaking rabbit hole. NBC executives, I'm pretty sure, knew that they released that. They're going to have to deal, Dateline was going to have to deal with, litigation and all that stuff. And then they had another thing called Reckoning, where a documentary on Dateline with all the Epstein survivors, that was going to lead to all this craziness. Now, Savannah Guthrie gave Virginia Guthrie a national platform and a voice to make these allegations that reached the highest levels of power. And if you guys remember, who was the main person that they were talking about? You guys remember? Prince Andrew. That was the number one, and they were going after him. And imagine all the stuff they came after him. But another
we gotta start doing videos
thing,
on
separately,
the Epsteins.
Savannah Guthrie.
I want to start because I don't know nothing about the Epsteins. I gotta start doing some Epstein videos. I think that's what's next, because I think the Epstein files is crazy. I keep hearing that. People keep telling me to do it. I might just have to do it.
Guthrie's husband, Michael Feldman, worked in the Clinton White House for 8 years. He served as the deputy assistant to President Bill Clinton as a senior comms and policy aid guy. His responsibilities were internal operations, message coordination, political strategy. And then after leaving, her husband co-founded the Glover Park Group. It's a Democratic-aligned public relations and consulting firm. Pat, you know what they basically do? They go around, Tom, and if there's stuff about you that they need to fix, they clean up your image and all that type of stuff. So I think right now, what we could be witnessing is not just an abduction, it's psychological warfare being used. Again, my speculation, but what if this is a form of institutional retaliation against someone who helped those figures? It's not random that she's in the files. It's not random that she interviewed Virginia. It's not random that she interviewed all these people. And you know what? I did a little digging. Do you guys remember who was another person towards the end of his life that was openly criticizing our government with handling of the Epstein files? Do you guys remember? What do you guys remember? Charlie Kirk. On July 14th, remember Trump came out and said, if you guys are doing this, you don't support me, I'm not with you. You remember that? That was July 14th. He told everybody to back off. That same day, Charlie Kirk said, I'm done talking about Epstein. And then guess what? On July 15th, the very next day, he flipped and he demanded that the files were going to be released and covering Epstein for nearly an hour on his show. An hour. And then less than 2 months later, I think it was 50-some days, Pat, he was dead. And this is him.
Wow.
This is the clip.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I was just going to ask, what's your point?
Look at
He's saying that there's a possibility that this could have been a warning shot. This could have been a warning shot. It's a possibility. Just a possibility.
Connections. The girl that gave the platform to survivors, that exposed Prince Andrew, that blew the lid off. Guys, we never even heard of survivors, bro. We didn't know any of them existed until she gave them the platform. Okay, she gave them the platform. Maybe they wanted her husband to help because by the way, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are supposed to go and speak in front of Congress, this month, Tom? It's kind of
not if you have a say to it.
Well, I think it's connected. I think it's kind of connected. Why
think,
of all
what
people,
do you think
mother?
is the connection?
Because she's the one.
I'm genuinely giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
What are you saying exactly?
I'm saying
like in a sentence.
My speculation is they're sending a message. You're giving them the platform. You gave these girls a voice. You're doing this. Maybe they asked her husband, who runs this firm. He's a partner at Glover Park Group, which helps Democrats, Adam, with their image and stuff. Maybe they asked him to help clean up and help with this thing, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it." This happens. There's no way. How is she randomly in the Epstein files?
Let me send you a clip
it all
I
makes
found.
sense now.
Connected.
Let me do this.
It's all connected.
Let me send you a clip from the lady Savannah and Trump, their history. I think this is the part that you have to hear, where the crisis happened on a day that's very, very weird. There's cops lined outside of their house the entire time trying to find out what the hell is going on. This is weird. Some people are even saying, could it be an inside job? So a lot of different angles people are taking, right? That maybe their own family.
None of this is random. I mean,
reason.
this is crazy, isn't it? This is crazy. I don't even know what to think anymore, guys. I don't. This is insane. Oh, man. Let's keep going.
I'm not saying that's the truth. All I'm saying is, but this is the history of Savannah Guthrie with President Trump. Go ahead, Rob.
Satanic cult run by the deep state.
Watch this.
I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans.
Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts, and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories. Why not just say it's crazy and not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you another thing.
Let's waste a whole show. You start off with white supremacy, I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree with it.
But there's not a satanic pedophile cult
no idea. I know
you
nothing
don't
about
know
that?
Okay.
No, I don't know
you
that.
Just this
neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay, just this week.
Neither do you. He's given the right answer.
Why aren't you asking me about the radical left?
Because you're
why aren't
volunteering
you asking Joe Biden questions about why doesn't he condemn Antifa? Why does he say it doesn't exist?
Because you're here before.
Back in 2024 during the election.
Watch.
I'm sorry.
Let it keep going.
She was attacking him left and right. I mean, talking to
I think there's
a former president of the United States.
You can pause it right here because there's a lot of clips between the two
100%.
and how the stuff that they said didn't exist came out to be true in many different areas. Then this is the one that's very creepy, folks. I'm sure you've seen
I didn't know Savannah was that aggressive. Ooh.
The letter she's reading is verbatim.
Well, that definitely makes her distinctive because I didn't think that. I've never heard of her until this investigation. So I really didn't know she could get that aggressive. But I think they're leaning in the direction of like someone was behind the scenes that maybe provoked her to do this in the first place.
From what the lady in the movie Silence of the Lambs said when they were talking about kidnappers.
Her daughter.
Wow.
Tell me this isn't creepy. Watch this.
She is full of kindness.
Catherine is very gentle and kind.
Talk to her and you'll see.
Talk to her and you'll see.
What? Wait. I mean, this is a little weird.
And it went on. There's actually a longer clip of it. And so my point is, think about this. What are the odds, Adam? What are the odds that Savannah Guthrie, she's in the Epstein files where it looks like Jeffrey Epstein is talking to somebody powerful, saying she's going to go here, she's going to talk about this, she's going to talk about that. Then her husband worked for Clinton for 8 years, okay, leaves, goes to another company, partners up with a company that helps Democrats with their image and all that stuff. And then now the Clintons are testifying about the Epstein stuff this month. How do you not see a connection of somehow, somewhere, and then she's over here yelling at Trump? What you're talking about? There's demons and whatever is a pedophile satanic group. Yeah, there is. There is. What other type of human being sleeps with underage girls, allegedly buries them or puts them in sulfuric acid, kills them, they have trap doors and they throw them to the freaking sharks? It's like, when are we going to stop pretending that evil is real? That evil is real and it's happening in front of our faces. I think that once we stop playing that game, then nothing is off the table. Because you can't not see the connection. She was the biggest. She put the victim of Prince Andrew, a prince, and put her on the and sat there. You don't think NBC was like, oh my God, we're gonna get litigation. But she's like, we have to do it. You don't think this is a retribution? You don't think these people pay you back? She's lucky she's not hanging from a tree in her house with a shotgun shot to her chest and there's no shotgun found, like Mark Middleton. She's lucky. She's lucky.
He might have a point. He might have a point right there. This dude is furious, guys. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Like Lisa said, none of this is random. I'm looking past the Epstein situation. I just thought it was a really interesting video based on what this guy had to say. I don't know though. I don't know, but I really can't say that Savannah didn't put herself in the position to have something to do with the Epsteins. That's for sure. I don't understand why she would be in the Epstein files. I guess she would just be. I guess you're in the Epstein files because you do an interview with the Epsteins. I have no idea how that works. But that's really odd and really, really creepy for sure. This is creepy.
Pray that they find her mom. But this is all connected, bro. That's me. I don't think it's a family member.
I don't know if Tom, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes. So when you go public with a kidnapping, these statements are not written by you in emotion and stress. Mm-hmm. These states are written by professionals that work with the law enforcement that are writing the message back to you because they are trying to do one thing. They're trying to get your person back, but they're also trying to set hooks or identify where they can catch the captors. Preserve life is number one because...
So he's saying that they wrote that for Savannah? Savannah didn't write that herself?
Will look at you and say, look, if you want to pay the ransom, you're risking on losing this money and all you're going to get back is, a body at some point, if then. And so this, I believe, and I'm 90% on this, this was written by somebody in law enforcement. Now, did that person in law enforcement write the same thing from Silence of the Lambs? If they did, that's pretty lazy. But I'll also tell you this. These movies, I lived in L.A., Pat lived in L.A. I knew people that used to do law enforcement research for the show Law and Order. Pat, do you know how much they spent on research? They had consultants because they said, hey, we want to show the courtroom scene, we want to show this, but it's got to be accurate. It's got to be true. We want the procedure to be right. We want it to look authentic. And so if Silence of the Lambs, if they, took the time and done research to portray this correctly, and then the person that's working with Savannah Guthrie and law enforcement copied it, number one, I think that's lazy, but it does line up with exactly what law enforcement would want you to do. So I think this was not surprising to me. There is one fact. Everyone, including law enforcement, seems to agree an elderly woman was abducted. There's blood at the scene. And from there, those are the facts. Now, everything else are these ransom notes real.
Yeah, but why would they think of something like that from somewhere like that to copy something someone said and give it to Savannah so she could say it? Like, what? This guy's not making no sense.
Is this a copycat? We don't know that.
And $6 million of Bitcoin is the ransom.
Because remember, in most of these, I hate to cast a bad light on this, Pat, but how many of these have you seen that they think it's this, they think it's that, it turns out to be it's a family member? Angry family members or angry friends that have broken something is usually the first path on here. It goes back to Scott Peterson. It goes back to
always the
cases like
always
this.
First, but yeah,
not always, but there's a really high percent that it was inside the circle of family and friends and community, and someone's upset. So she's missing.
Well, that he's
there's
right
blood.
about.
And
He's
I
most
don't
certainly
know.
correct
and
about that.
I can't make the call on whether the ransom notes are accurate or a copycat. What if but there's some weird things going on that just shows you the law enforcement is just looking everywhere. They pulled stuff out of a mailbox. They were looking in a septic tank.
Yeah.
It shows that what law enforcement is doing with that is
And
saying,
this is the beginning,
what if
guys.
it was a friend, family member, or a quick kill, and we're just looking for a body?
Yeah, that's why I said speculation, Tom, but it is kind of weird that I'm not being Kevin Bacon 6 degrees. It's just obvious. She was the one. And now the Clintons are about to testify. I don't know. Well, I mean, I pray for her. I hope she's okay.
I respect what you're saying, but there's a lot of dots there, and they need to be honest.
People
And there's
don't like
a
connecting
lot, and there's a lot of journalists that are in this same realm. I mean, if this theme is there, then you would have a high-profile conservative journalist like a Sean Hannity, somebody coming after him. I'm not saying, I'm not suggesting, but I'm saying if
I got you, Tom. I get it. I understand what you're saying. Tom, go for it. Adam, go for it.
Okay. Well, let me just kind of cut through the noise. And as much as I love you, Vinny, there was a lot of noise there, but I do appreciate you literally going down the rabbit hole like you said you would. So I have not followed this at all, so I'll just be simple. Number one, this is not some sort of business transaction. This is an old woman who's being held hostage. On its face, that's what's going on. There may be extracurricular things going on. There's time to decide that.
Maybe.
Number two, the whole goal why they're using the silence of a lamb situation is because there's a playbook here. Number one, you need to humanize the person that's being held captive. She's kind, she's sweet, she's a mother, she's a grandmother. Please return my mother back to me is the same thing that anyone would say if their mother or grandmother was being held hostage. Number three, the basic rule is you don't negotiate with terrorists. These people are terrorists, most likely, domestic terrorists, if you want to call them that. And I think it's going to end up very ugly for these people because the last thing that these people want is to be just living with an old lady for the next 6, 12, 18 months. So they're doing this for the money, and let's see what the authorities, I'll agree with Tom here, the authorities are running this, not the Guthrie family.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. There's a lot of weird things to it, and, anytime you're doing things, your job is to be able to consider everybody.
Doing it for what money, though? What money is he talking about? Like, is he referring to the money that they got paid to do this? If they got paid to do this, or is he referring to them holding her for ransom and he's saying that this was true? But again, this was in the very beginning, and I just wanted to play that because I thought that video was interesting that they had brought up that, was pretty much the same words from another person, I believe, that had something to do with the Epstein. That was super, super interesting to me. I don't know I don't know how y'all feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that either. Mr. Monk intrigued, man. He's always coming through with some crazy videos or, talking about something that could potentially be true in the investigation. I think he was talking about the perp. I think he thinks the perp is that the perp staged this, him and someone else staged this whole thing. or there may be a possibility that they did.
Now, I'm thinking it's worth exploring if the whole Nest camera footage was actually staged by the perp. Now, I know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, this case has been it's been so everywhere. It's crazy. It's hard not to have all types of speculations for the simple fact that Nanos nor the FBI isn't giving us any info. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
Hey, Monks, did you get some plastic surgery done? No, guys. I would never get plastic surgery. It's me, look. See? You probably didn't see the tape there, right? But it's me. Once I put on the glasses, everything will be back to normal.
So I think they think that's why the perp looked really pretty, or the certain things about the perp look really pretty. So I think there's a possibility that he did his eyebrows before he did all of this, just to tweak his, certain characteristics about him. They might have thought this through pretty well. I mean, it's a possibility. A lot of people think that the perp, I don't know if they still feel that way, but thought that the perp was a woman.
It's me, guys. Now, if you guys are thinking that I'm being ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous, maybe so, but have you ever known me not to make a point from these things? So, allow me to make it make sense. So there was this comment by a person named Spinflux, okay, that they watched a video on CIA disguises, how these professionals, they could alter anything about themselves to be recognizable except for the gait. The way that they walked is the hardest thing to work on. Now, this comment, of course, is from the video where we talked about, the perp's gait. This comment highlights one of the many reasons I love reading the comment section. Because, hey, I didn't know this little fact, but it also opened my eyes to the fact that I have been ignoring the simple thought about this crotch holster guy persona, right? That it possibly is all staged, and that maybe even what's underneath the ski mask even has been altered. Let's go ahead and add a few more pieces to our working theory. Now, I would love to give credit to the commenter that wrote that the ski mask by itself is going to alter anybody's face if they were to slip it on, okay? Now, this stuck in my head, and the importance of it I only felt recently. So to you, whoever commented this, I say thank you. Now, a lot of people said that once they saw the side-by-side of Tommaso's gait with the perps, they can't unsee it, right? I will also say now that when I look at the images that we have of the crotch holster guy, I can't see his face not being at least altered a bit by that ski mask. However, I took it a step further, okay? I again burned my eyes over that Nest footage. Now, if any of you guys remember how you guys felt when you first saw the perpetrator's eyes, right? A lot of people in the comment section said that it felt feminine. That's the word that they used. And so did I, right? I said that they were pretty, but I also said that they were perky. That was the first word that came to my mind when I looked at those eyes. When I was doing those face overlay things, I go, all these characters, they just don't have as perky of eyes as the culprit does. As if those eyes were being lifted. And now a lot of you are getting what that, tape bit at the top of the video was for. Now, I also noticed something else that supports this theory, okay? Go watch it again. Whenever the perpetrator was facing the camera, which I'm sure he's well aware of, that this camera is recording him, this guy never blinks. He's like a wide-eyed deer in the headlights every time he is facing the camera. Now, once you watch this video again, I just showed you something that you just can't unsee. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say that for the entire duration that he did not blink, okay? I'm just saying that whenever he was facing the camera, he did not do so, right? And if you're taping your eyes up, to alter your eyes, you probably want to keep your blinking at a minimum, right? Just in case, right? The tape comes loose or something like that. Now, do I think he used Scotch tape like I did? Of course not. And this is why I always turn to the internet, because it is just way smarter. When I was punching it in, I was thinking about CIA, FBI, law enforcement. But the first thing Google gave me was makeup artists. And of course, makeup artists. And it turns out that they have something meant exactly for this, okay, to alter the eyes. And it's something called an invisible, transparent eyelid tape strip, something or other, used by professional makeup artists. Now, we learned something new, and I think we're on to something here, folks. So if the culprit is someone that is recognizable, right, an inside job, so to speak, that intelligent person is going to manifest their likeness into something unrecognizable in every way they think is possible. The guy moved like an old man, but he had eyes as perky as a schoolgirl. I don't think so. This also made me again look at that brazen crotch holster that this guy is wearing, which I know many people have told me countless times in the comment section that this is called a Mexican carry. I get it. But allow me to school you just a little further. After Googling, the traditional version of the Mexican carry is with no holster at all, right? Just a gun straight down the front of your pants. The, if you're not careful, blow your junk off carry. This is a 19th century practice by Mexican cowboys and Mexican revolutionaries, which leads me to believe the gun there in the non-matching holster is more about, hey guys, look what I got, and maybe a diversion to make you think that he's Mexican. Because let's just think about this just for a moment. If this is a targeted kidnapping, as most of us believe, as almost everybody believes by now, there really is no reason to expose your gun like this, because you know your target. You already know that she's an 84-year-old woman that is probably not going to put up any sort of fight.
I think based on how the perp, if that was actually the guy that took Nancy out of her home, based on how the perp is carrying the gun, convinces me even more due to the fact of how easy it would have been to restrain an old lady like this that's 84 years old, only weighs 150 pounds, because everybody's saying 150 pounds is a lot. I'm saying only because it's not a lot, okay? 150 pounds is light, okay? It's not all that heavy. So it's definitely a weight that one person could carry. And also, the way you carry weight with a person matters as well, especially if you go from the legs, it's easier to pick somebody up. Much tougher if that person's already dead and laying down though. But, you could also have been carried out kind of like a baby, how you would cradle a baby. Which I don't think that would have been that difficult. I mean, I think it would have been difficult, but I don't think it would be, something that's not doable. But just based on how the perp had the gun, being that it's within reach to anyone else that may be a threat that comes in front of you, I think that just makes it that much, it makes more sense. But I don't think, like I said, that this is our guy that we're watching in this surveillance video that actually remove Nancy from the home. I really don't feel like that's our guy, but it's highly possible that it is. And, this guy did everything by himself. Because one other thing I'd like to say is, the more people you have involved in a crime like this, that is a secret, because something like this is obviously a secret, the harder the secret is to keep. So with that being said, it's a high possibility that this guy did it by himself, or the people, that he maybe did it with are just having a very hard time coming forward. But eventually at some point in this investigation, they'll come forward. Somebody always tells. They always tell. So I think if nothing ever happens and no one tells, or, if no one tells and, it's more than one person, then I think I'm going to be led to believe that it was only one person at one point. I think. I don't know. This is a very tough. It's very, very tough to pick and decide exactly what you want to think in this investigation. It's, you know, it's not gotten far enough for me to just really put, you know, to put a pinpoint on what I really feel or how I feel about this, because so many things have happened that make me feel so many different ways in this investigation. It's so hard. This is so hard to not overthink things and be for sure about what you think. That's the hardest thing with this investigation, is to be for sure about what you think about what really happened.
She's on life-sustaining meds. She has a pacemaker. She is pretty much deaf. Keep that gun hidden. Imagine you run into a neighbor or a police on patrol at 2 a.m. in the morning. That's not out of the range of possibility, right? Is having a gun out like that a good idea? No. Of course it's not a good idea. You just keep it tucked away and concealed. The more I watch this footage, the more I'm actually leaning towards that this guy is performing for us. He looked like he's about to knock, right? And then, oh, wait a minute. There's a door camera right here, which has been blaring all types of colors because of its infrared beams this whole time that I didn't notice in the pitch blackness. No, right? So he covers the camera up very poorly, you know, trying to rip out the camera. Once I saw countless examples of how easy it is to rip out a Nest camera from its bracket. Now, as I'm watching this guy do some really weird finger things, he's pretty much just molesting the Nest camera at this point.
YG, I haven't actually heard about that. YG says, what do you think about the signs found on the traffic signs in the foothills early this morning by DGL live channel this morning? Sorry if I missed you talking about. No, I haven't talked to, no, not at all. I don't even know nothing about that at all. Now you're making me want to look it up. Wake says this guy's filled with conspiracy theories. Yeah, he really is. It's tough. It's tough, but he always has something super interesting to say that you may be able to consider. Not always. I think tonight's one of those nights where I'm like, eh. But he said it as well. You know, it wasn't something that he thought. It wasn't one of his theories, but he just thought this was a video where he just wanted to bring something to our attention, just to kind of have you thinking. And I think he's just trying to keep the story going as well. So, I mean, shouts to Monk for sure. Gabrielle says, I don't know about that because I think the kidnappers were under the impression that none of the cameras were even working, so I don't think that they went to the extent to change their features. But they did damage the cameras. They broke the cameras. So I think that they were aware that the cameras were working because they were looking, from what we believe, we think that, well, I do, that they knew where the cameras were. You know, they were familiar with the home. I think a lot of people believe that. Go to JLR's breaking news. I was already talking about JLR's breaking news. We can watch some JLR though. We can go to JLR and check out his breaking news. He had something. He had some names, and I had posted the names earlier. He has some last names that I guess that they're saying that the detectives or one of the investigators that's investigating this, I don't know if it was FBI or detectives. I think it was a detective, because I think that's really all we have on this case for the most part. I don't even know. I think maybe one FBI agent. I don't know how many agents we got FBI wise, but he posted the last names today of the people that they got as maybe they may possibly be suspects from some purchases from the gun store. I think there were purchases in Scottsdale. I don't think, or that's where he got the information from. That's one of the things that I saw on his stream today, and I played a little bit of his stream as far as that. I didn't listen long enough to see if there was any other exciting news that we didn't know about. So on JLR stream, are they talking about those signs or something like that? So you'll find the exact minute. It's DGL Live. I don't know who's DGL Live. I'll check it out right now. I'll look it up in a second.
He could rip it out right then and there. He is meant to look bumbling. Building a nest on a nest. This whole thing really does start to look staged. Okay? So what do we believe? I mean, we believe it's an inside job.
Live?
Right?
Okay,
and the actor is somebody known to the family. He is wearing a very ostentatious gun right there in the front. This guy wants to be recorded, ladies and gentlemen. He wants this footage that we're watching right now, if ever recovered, to be seen. A red herring, which if this is the case, we have to question everything about the events of that night, down to the very blood droplets that were possibly planted now on that porch. What if that thing in his pocket is not a Wi-Fi jammer or even a walkie-talkie? What if it's some kind of vial with Nancy's blood in it, right? We even have to question the timeline. We must wonder now if Nancy even ever made it home that night. So we put our faith in the FBI, and I'm sure they're already trying their best to piece this entire thing together with what they were given. Basically, what they inherited from Pima County. And if we have faith in any department trying to solve this case, it would be them. And if we enter into the realm that this whole thing was performative and staged, then we just opened up a can of worms of countless possibilities. It also bugs me that there were no cars captured at all so far that we know of. You know, of all these routes the culprit would have had to take to get out of Nancy's neighborhood. It also bugs me even more that there is no footage of Tommaso's car recorded somewhere when he was taking Nancy home that night. I mean, maybe FBI does have it. Maybe Pima County.
Right. That is very interesting. Why isn't there any video whatsoever found in the neighborhood? And you know, another interesting thing is Tommaso could tell them exactly where he drove when he drove Nancy home. So that leads me to believe that they would know what houses to go to. You know, I don't know if that would even make any sense, but they definitely could figure out a majority of the homes that are facing the road that do see cars passing by in Nancy's neighborhood, if there are any homes that face the street near her home, though. But they definitely could look for that if Tommaso, any footage when Tommaso had drove Nancy home that night. And I wonder whether or not if they do have any footage of Tommaso actually taking her home. That's a good one. That's a really good one there. So I believe somebody's requesting I watch something, and I think that's I think it's Dad's Gone Live.
He does have it, and they're holding on to it. Maybe that.
Let me turn this off real quick. I believe it's Dad's Gone Live that they wanted me to check out. I guess something was posted on Sign or something like that. I'm not too sure. We're gonna check it out right now, though. Let's see what y'all talk. Let's see what who was it that said that? YG. Let's see what YG's talking about. You can see the police interaction at 8 minutes, and that's breaking news. What's the breaking news, Joanne? What's up? What's the breaking news? Let me know. Let me know something. Somebody said there was some breaking news as well. So somebody said one of those names is a healthcare worker. Yeah, I think JLR was mentioning that one of those names was a healthcare worker. But I mean, I don't know. I gotta see what these people look like. If one of those guys is the perp, I really need to see what they're looking like. So Dad's Gone Live. He did a 9-hour stream. Is that the one you're talking about? Well, I hope this is the one. It looks like this is the one. Dang, he didn't even get 10. He didn't even stream in 1080p. This is gonna look terrible.
The neighborhood, beautiful. Does anybody know what this means? This is in the, they put this. This is on the back of the no parking sign. I don't think it was there earlier today.
I think I met him a couple weeks ago.
What does that say? Guthrie and Shim K. Carol. What is this? You guys know what that says?
So confused. So wait, what happened with the sign? I'm so confused. Signs were yellow stating Guthrie. Looks like a little kid wrote that.
No, yeah, it was not there earlier.
It says like Carol. I don't know what's going on.
It was not there earlier because I drove past it on the scooter. Remember? It was not there earlier. I drove past that sign on the scooter. What does that even say? Guthrie and Shimmick? Yavapai, Sheriffs, Lemons, Rhodes, State, Far, Canopy? I don't know. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not understand. I'm really not understanding what the hell's going on here. I don't know. It looks like a little kid's just messing with it or something like that.
It's really weird. It's extremely weird to me. I don't understand it.
Breaking news, I assume. This is the breaking news. Sheriff put on gloves to collect signs and evidence badges, took several photos. While Jacob Dad's Gone Live talked with the sheriff.
Too.
Wow, holy crap. Wait a minute. There's a plate number? Are they fucking...
No, it's not. That's not the same car on another live stream.
Are they
car we saw
messing
tonight
with
was
us
a
right
truck.
now? I didn't even see the plate number.
The car we saw tonight was a truck, not a...
God, that
nothing
creeped me
else.
out, bro. Why did they put a plate number on there? Oh my God. This is crazy. Wait, what's going on? How did I miss this? Why wasn't I watching his live earlier? I usually do watch it.
I got the sign I drove past too.
No, they put a plate number on there. What? Who's Carol? It says Carol.
Did you get the third sign over by camp?
So 3 signs. 3 signs is what I'm hearing. And I'm assuming they put this over because these are the signs that are there. These signs are there in place to let everyone know if you park on the side of the road, you get that $200 fine for the most part. But I didn't realize there was a plate number right there. Dang, what the?
That I drove past earlier? Yeah. That I didn't see I drove past it, but I did.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting. Yo, shout out YG. They really put a plate number on there. Like, are they messing with us? That looks like an accurate amount of numbers that's on the plate too, so I know that's a legit number. I mean, I'm not for sure that's a legit plate number, but they really put a plate number. That's crazy. That's just crazy. I'm wondering, like, if that plate number is really going to lead them up to something. Do they come up and talk to Dad's Gone Live at some point?
Is it a prank or is it a clue?
I was waiting for you to go live for real. Yo, what's up, YG? I appreciate that. Yo, that's crazy. I'm lost for words right now. I don't even know what to say. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it looks like a little kid handwriting, so it's hard to believe, but. And then I don't know if you noticed, but at the bottom right there, like right next to the plate, let's see if I could show y'all what I'm talking about. It says Carol. Who's Carol?
Check email. People in chat trying to get your attention. I did. I've read every email that just came through.
That's really odd.
I did. I just checked every email.
That's really, really odd.
Oh, here comes another car. Another cop. Another cop. Second cop's on scene.
Could we possibly have a actual plate, actual vehicle? Does this plate number actually lead to a vehicle that investigators may be looking at, or maybe they have a vehicle to actually consider based on this information that was given at the, on this particular sign? 3 signs, not just 1, 3. And what time did these people go out and put these signs out? It had to have happened at night because, I mean, he did say that he was out on the scooter a second ago or at some point in time tonight.
We're in the neighborhood.
And he didn't see those signs
these
before.
Random signs started popping up around the neighborhood. There's about 3 of them so far. Pima County detectives are actually on scene now. They're about to pull the signs off for evidence. These are very suspicious since they were put up in random spots in the neighborhood and nowhere near her actual house. Her house is about a mile away. There was a old school Chevy pickup truck that we saw leaving the area, and then we found this. It apparently has names of people that might have been murdered in the past. Not really too sure on this. Once again, this is in Pima County in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood, where Pima County Sheriff detectives are on scene, and they're going to collect these signs for evidence.
Go back again. I gotta see the names again. Or there was more than one name? He said there might be names that were, people, he's not sure, but people that might have been murdered. Well, I guess Guthrie would obviously be the other name, but what other names besides Carol?
You're like, please don't mess with me, please don't mess with me, please don't mess with me.
That's really weird. Why is this story getting weirder and weirder every week? The perp can't be this good. My goodness. Somebody has to be behind this. I mean, this is the type of stuff that only makes me lead that Nanos has something to do with this. I mean, because there's no way there's so many misleads. It's like he took us on a goose trail, man. This guy's really messing with us. Like, we literally went on a whole goose trail in the beginning.
Yeah, thanks, Robin. Appreciate you. Good night. Much love, much love. I don't know.
And then
why
all of a
Facebook
sudden,
ends after 8
we
hours,
stopped.
but they do.
Like, we just stopped looking for people. I don't know, man. This is super weird to me.
That was about as good as we're
Then,
gonna
like,
get
this
for
thing is
blocking
so
the
up in
plate
the
number.
air now. People could be out here doing dumb stuff like this. But I mean, if this is real, that's gonna be crazy.
Here comes the officer.
So he's gonna talk
Howdy.
to the police.
Hi there. I'm Sergeant Reed.
Yeah.
I'm the Night Detective Unit Supervisor. I'm his boss.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can I just ask you not to zoom in on any of our MDCs or any of our cameras? There's confidential information on there.
Oh, absolutely. No problem.
Okay. So I'm cool with you videotaping.
I'm just
the
videotaping
scene
you guys
and
doing the
everything.
scene.
Okay. Well,
And-
we just got a call that somebody on the internet could see our MDCs and see
What's
what's
that?
going on. That's our computers.
No, nobody can see your computers.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just
You can
trying
see
to
it.
ask you nicely.
No, you're good.
So if
People
you
are
can,
silly. Look, so
no, it's not. It's fine. I'm just asking nicely.
yeah. Here, I'm gonna show you real quick what I'm doing.
That was
It's right
irrelevant.
here. So if you see anything wrong with it, I'll gladly change it. So on the live stream, all they can see is the back of your car, and I put my logo over your plate.
Okay.
That's
No,
all
I
they can see.
appreciate it. My detective said you've been real cooperative.
That's
I
got
wanna
lie.
stay
Why are you
cooperative.
lying right now,
I'm
bro?
all about
Did
the
he
media.
really lie right now? Yo, my man, shout out Dad's Got Live, bro. Yo, I watched the stream on Dad's Got Live, man. I watched him go off on a viewer crazily one time. I mean, I think he was calling her dumb. I can't remember the viewer's name, but you just gotta love guys that just keep it real, though. And, you know, we're out here to get some content, bro. We're not out here. I mean, I'm pretty sure if he had the opportunity to get some information that was confidential, he would. But, I mean, this guy's plate is clearly on stream, bro. He just told the guy he didn't get his plate.
So if you see anything wrong with it, I'll gladly change it. So on the live stream, all they can see is the back of your car, and I put my logo over your plate.
Okay.
That's
No,
all
I
they can see.
appreciate it. My detective said you've been real cooperative.
Yo,
I want
the
to stay
plate
cooperative.
isn't even covered. First of all, the door where the plate is at on the car is up. So where the plate is at on the other car, if he's behind the police officer in that first vehicle, I'm going to guess that it is. Because I can see the computer in there. Dude, officer, close the door. He's an idiot. Close the door. Why would you have the back thing open and Dad's Gone Live can see your computer through his camera and come tell him not to record? You didn't even have to park like that. He could have just moved his car. Why even tell him, like, yo, he's like, just in case you want. It's like the cop was like, just in case you want to get any ideas and you want to, you know, dive in real quick, you know, on some information that no one knows about, go right ahead. But I just, you know, for the camera, I got to say, you know, don't record this. You know, I just want to get it on camera that I don't want you to record this. But yeah, you know what? Go right ahead. That's what I got out of it. I'm not trying to be funny at all. Like I just think it's funny, but I think it sounded like to me that's what he was pretty much saying to me.
With you, I'm all about the media. You guys have,
Absolutely.
you guys have free range to do almost, what you want within reason from back here. I'm just asking respectfully.
No, he was nice to let me come in here,
Yeah.
because this is technically no parking, so I appreciate you being nice about it.
Yep.
So I was telling him I have a YouTube channel.
The door is up. The door is literally up. Look at the door. The door where the plate is at. Let me put the arrow on that because I don't know. Y'all might not know what I'm talking about. Because Dad's Gone Live. Okay, first of all, Dad's Gone Live logo is right here. Okay, that logo was probably initially over the plate at one point in time, but the plate of the vehicle is clearly up there, so you can't even see the plate. But what I can see is a little bit of a computer, looks like. I don't know if he's behind another streamer's car that was out there with him that night. I don't know if he was by himself because I didn't watch this live, but I'm assuming that's a cop car too that we're looking at in front of him. But anyway.
That I live stream everything on, and then I have a camera right here. I get out and I'm gonna record you guys pulling the stuff off the sign, and that's all.
Okay.
I have no interest in recording your computers whatsoever.
Okay.
That's
I just wanted to double check that with you.
Absolutely
and
not.
Just make sure we can stay away from any type of confidential stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know you guys even have confidential cameras or anything like that.
No, we don't have cameras. We don't have anything confidential that way. It's just the information shared on our computers is
no, I haven't even looked at
kind
your
of confidential and secure. Right?
I haven't looked at your computer one time.
Okay.
So.
And we just got a report about it, so I just wanted to make sure that we communicate.
Hey, last time there was a couple of days, like a week ago, they were calling saying I was harassing the neighbors. I was like, I was just sitting in a chair with a camera.
Sure. Yeah.
For Nancy Guthrie's house.
Yeah, and
people are silly.
You know, we're all trying to solve it. You know, so.
Yeah.
I just ask when you're recording and stuff, if you could just stay back at your truck.
Yep.
And just kind of give us free reign
so what I normally do, I keep about 30 to 40 feet back and get a spot where I'm out of your way, and hopefully, unless you guys see me, hopefully I don't bother you guys.
Cool.
So.
Nope, sounds great. We wear cameras. I'm not scared of cameras. I just want to be able to have that communication.
Absolutely. And he told you I was the one that called this in?
Yeah.
So, what do you think about it? Honest, like just thoughts. Weird.
I don't know, man. I don't really deal in thoughts. I deal in evidence. So we're just going to collect it.
Okay, good answer, officer. Good answer.
See what happens.
Yeah. Somebody said I was reporting their computers.
That dude said, I'm not about to give you a whole interview right now.
Oh, that's why the camera lens got dirty. Well, if I show the computer, I didn't mean to.
I think somebody was asking me about that vacant home that was just down the way. There's a guy that talked about it yesterday. I was trying to find the video because we talked about it yesterday. If you want to see, I think you go to my last live. I showed the abandoned home. I'll look up see if I have a picture on Google. Show you what it looks like. I've been meaning to go by Nancy's, but I just haven't had the time to go down there to see this abandoned home that's near. But I want to. I don't know if they have it on the internet yet, though. But right now they are investigating an abandoned home just down the way. A vacant home is how they're referring it to, how they're referencing it. And I believe it's about 4 to 5 houses down. I can't remember the guy's name that I watched yesterday or the day before that was talking about the abandoned home. But from what I heard, it's about 4 to 5 houses down. They are watching him while talking to him. They have to know him because he parks in the police parking lot. Yeah, they definitely should be aware of who he is. I mean, come on now. These guys are acting silly. Yo, good morning, by the way. Is it Teresa? Says, can anyone tell me about this house we're looking at? Yeah, I'll show it in a minute, though. I'll find the video in a little bit.
Yeah, if I try not to show people's computers.
Joanne says this is a real finding, but we can't really understand what it all means. Everything collected as evidence and taken.
No,
yeah.
he said computers. He said computers.
Oh, so he closed his trunk. So yeah, Dad's Got Live is covering the plate. He's not covering the other plate, which we can clearly see, but it is covering the plate. But I don't think it's covering the plate enough for us not to figure out what those numbers and letters are. But at least he tried to make the effort to cover the cop's plate.
We're out here in the neighborhood for Nancy Guthrie, where Pima County Sheriff detectives are on scene. There have been multiple signs that just popped up in the neighborhood with a old school Chevy square body that drove away. There's about 3 signs so far that they found. They have the detective and the supervisor for the detectives on scene at this time. Once again, this is in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood for some random signs that were popped up, and they're about to collect them for evidence. I don't even see a computer. I really don't even see his computer.
I could see his computer from where. From
how many logos do I need to have?
Just a little bit of it, though. Not much of it.
If there's any computers at all, we'll do that. There we go. What blocks both sides of each other, please? I'm sure they see him. Pima County detectives are currently taking these signs off the no parking signs for evidence in the Nancy Guthrie case. These signs randomly started popping up tonight. There's about 3 of them. And
yeah, I don't know how to feel about this, guys. I really don't.
And the odd thing is they're not at her house. They're in the neighborhood. They're rolling them up, and they're going to take them in for evidence. They have a Carol Shimnick name on them, which was a lady that was murdered not too long ago.
Yavapai Sheriffs. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. What type of message are these guys sending? Lemons. What? Canali? Who's Canali? I'm so confused on that sign, though. That sign is just really hard to make out. What did they use to put the sign up? Tape? Obviously, I guess. Why aren't they taking the entire? Just take the entire sign.
Signs that just popped up in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood.
You got to be kidding me.
Took them in for evidence. There's multiple names on these signs, along with a license plate number. And one of the names on the signs is actually from a lady that was murdered not too long ago in the general area.
Sign doesn't even fit in the bag.
County Sheriff detectives in Tucson,
Are they really
Arizona,
playing like they're really taking it into evidence?
Which is Nancy
This is a
Guthrie's
joke.
neighborhood.
The way they put that into the bag, it looked like this was a joke. They don't even have a bag big enough to collect evidence in. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. This is a joke.
Once again, this is Pima County Sheriff detectives. That was multiple names on these signs, along with a license plate number. And one of the names on the signs is actually from
Bro,
a
this
lady.
gotta be a joke. You gotta be kidding me. These guys. So how are we concealing the evidence if it's sticking out of the bag?
Pima County detectives just took down one of the signs that just popped up in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. They took them in for evidence. There's multiple names on these signs, along with a license plate number. And one of the names on the signs is actually from a lady that was murdered not too long ago in the general area. Once again, this is Pima County Sheriff detectives in Tucson, Arizona, in the Catalina foothills, which is Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood.
Yeah, this is obviously a joke. They're not taking those cops ain't taking this serious. YG says there's a Yavapai Road right by the high school Savannah graduated from. Oh, it's right near me. How did I not know that? But my street isn't. No, it's not Yavapai. No. No cameras in the area. Jacob caught it all. Oh, was that? Hold on. Are you trying to tell me that who I was watching? I think that's what he's telling me that I was watching. Maybe not. Maybe not. No. Was it Jacob? What's his name, Jacob? No, I would need his last name too. I don't think that's him. I wanted to pull up this abandoned home, but I can't remember the guy's name. Sounded like him though when he said Jacob. It kind of took me back for a second, but I guess no.
Down one of the signs that just popped up in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. They took them in for evidence. There's multiple names on these signs along with the license plate number. And one
So is there any more news updates that we've missed tonight that I don't know about? Because this was very interesting. That was great. I just don't know for certain if these guys, if this is something to really do with, you know, or if they have really real information. Because you see the first initial sign that he posted up there, which is right behind me. Let me move my camera for a second. The first initial sign that he posted, it says the name. I see Carol on there, but I don't see a plate number. And then if you go back to the moment in time, which is when he was pulled over and, you know, he's talking to the police, then you see the plate number on one of the signs. So I don't know if somebody's messing with us or they're joking around, but if they're joking around, that's pretty jacked up. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are aware that they really want to figure this out and get to the bottom of this. And for those of us that are confident that we want this case to go somewhere, we don't need nobody coming in here and messing around with stuff and tampering with stuff. Giving these guys more work to do, knowing that they already have 40,000s of tips that they got to go through in the first place. But yeah, that sign that he posted up there is kind of suspicious to me because why would they only put the plate number on one of the signs? You know, I don't know. It's just a lot of things that raise question, but I think this is just somebody messing around. But you know, we can't just overlook stuff. Though obviously they gotta see if it's a joke or not. But I think somebody's just messing with us. Why would somebody come take the time to do that on 3 different signs though? They really think this is funny too. They're probably sitting here laughing right now. It's just a joke. Yeah, 3 different signs in 3 different locations though. I mean, come on now. You gotta be kidding me. You're insane.
Down one of the signs that just popped up in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. They took them in for evidence. There's multiple names on these signs along with the license plate numbers. And one of the names on the sign is actually from a lady that was murdered not too long ago in the general area. Once again, this is Pima County Sheriff Detectives in Tucson, Arizona, in the Catalina foothills, which is Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood.
They're bagging and tagging, guys.
Oh, so it looks like they actually taped it up though. I guess they better sealed the evidence there. Let me see if I can see what they're doing. I guess they wrapped it up. I mean, I can't really tell, but it looks like they wrapped it up for the most part.
Was murdered not too long ago, and it quit yelling at me.
Yeah,
so down by the turn.
Anyway, that was interesting. Man. Shout out to YG for letting me know about that. That was crazy. That was crazy, bro. Very, very interesting. Insane. I can't believe it. I cannot believe somebody would come and do that. I mean, I'm just assuming somebody came and did that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, but I cannot believe somebody would come out, you know, and mess around. If somebody's messing around, I just can't believe they would do something like that. But there have been all kind of crazy things in this story, you know, as far as even down to somebody even trying to get some money out of this, you know, because we know Kalila was, you know, pretending that he knew where Nancy was and he saw Nancy at the border. Yeah, that guy. So, I mean, it's expected. It's expected for more silly things like that to happen for sure. So, what can we say? What can we really say at the end of the day? Somebody was mentioning, telling me to watch JLR stream. I don't know what had happened on JLR stream that I might have missed that he was referring to. Let me see what he was talking about here. I want to play this quick video real quick before we get into the last part about my live tonight.
Buy this 1,000,000,000%. And then, and these names, and assuming the guy's lying, you know, the guy lying to me, what I'm assuming that there's a truth to this, right? About these names, and these are all Persian names. But if this is all some sort of connection in some way on this angle, I think it's awfully crazy that during the course of the Nancy Guthrie investigation, the United States invades Iran.
Yep. And the reason why I bring, and the reason why I bring. The reason why I bring up that maybe she's afraid of her husband.
Annie and Tomas.
Yes. I think Annie knows what happened, but she's afraid to say anything because she's afraid her husband might retaliate against her.
I'm starting to think that this guy knows what happened. Seriously.
Possibility.
And I don't say this sarcastically. I'm starting to think this is, I mean, this is, I mean, I don't know, man. You know, I'm not trying to push any narrative here. I'm just pushing like what type of new information I got by studying this case. And, you know, people reaching out to me, you know, and I take anybody that like lives around there and knows, you know, names and knows what's going on very seriously.
Who's that guy?
I just say if we go this route, right here, this, you know, and this is true here, by the way, this is true. This is true. An Iranian healthcare worker that used to stay at our guest house and work for fired years back. That's true. It's a true statement.
Mm-hmm.
I stand by this 1,000,000,000%. And then, and these names, and assuming the guy's lying, you know, the guy lying to me, what I'm assuming that there's a truth to this, right? About these names, and these are all Persian names. But if this is all some sort of connection in some way on this,
wouldn't that be odd, guys? Though an Iranian, we got stuff going on in Iran right now. Isn't that Iran? If you're Iranian, I have no idea. But wouldn't that be odd? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that really would correlate with the story.
I think it's awfully crazy that during the course of the Nancy Guthrie investigation, the United States invades Iran.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring, and the reason why I bring up that maybe she's afraid of her husband, because there's women out there, if they have I'm not saying he's abusive because I don't know that for sure, but if he is, a lot of times the women are scared to death to even speak up against their husbands, especially if they're abusive.
Watching the World just reached out to me, said, "Come on, Mel. Remember Mel?"
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he just sent me a message. Mel, I sent you the StreamYard link. Come on up. The great Mel.
Wonder why y'all didn't say much about that.
He's from New York, I believe, ain't he?
Yeah, he's watching the World.
Yeah.
Watching the World.
Yeah, I got
so,
looking.
okay, so your take on this is still feeling like Tommaso has fingerprints all over this, and he's protecting him.
Yes, I mean he's not dumb enough to go up there and put a mask on and go to the door. He's smarter than that. I think he.
I could agree with that.
People, and he knows about it.
I mean, you think about it, he's a biology teacher, so I mean, obviously, he definitely would be smart enough to not go up to that door, because obviously, if you're not dumb, you know, investigators would learn that it's you, especially knowing that a lot of the times when we're investigating something like this, especially when it's a potential homicide, investigators go after the family members before they go after anybody else, or within a family circle, you know, and that's family and friends. So I mean, yeah, I think Tommaso would be smarter than that to do, you know, to be this guy that's on surveillance for sure.
And she's afraid to speak up. Like I said, he might be an abusive husband. I don't know.
Here's the thing, though, you know, and you know, a lot of people probably agree with you in this sense. You know, I'm not leaning that. Reason being is Celebrite and all the, you know, technical stuff, and the, you know, the digital forensic team of the FBI in Pima County, whatever they have. They had to go through these people's phones, electronic devices to a T, and make sure any and all suspicious communication he had and she had with anybody in the last year, meetups, secret stuff, you know, conversations, anything deleted that they could extract, anything. You know, you would think that there would be some sort of paper trail there if this guy hired somebody to do it, and I'm not feeling it, but again, other people think that.
Yeah. And a friend of mine was talking today, and he's got a friend that works in the EMS department, and he thinks what's in that duffel bag could be a body bag, where they folded it up and put it in the duffel bag.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. Body bag, tarp, sleeping bag. I don't know about tools, but some people say tools, but you can see there's stuff in there. We don't know what's in there. What's
I got really surprised last night when I seen those reflectors. I've seen them for the last 50 days, but I didn't think nothing about it till last night.
The reflectors here?
Yeah, on his backpack.
It's weird because I got the same backpack at Walmart for $11.88, and I don't see reflectors on it like that. I actually thought I had the wrong backpack, but I got the right one.
Yeah, JLR does have that backpack.
It's a little bit different. This one's a little bit different. Reflectors, I don't know.
Because of the one picture, there's two different pictures. One picture, it's a darker picture. You don't see nothing shining on it. But this lighter picture, you can see the reflectors right there on his shoulders.
Yeah, I see it. Some people think he's riding on a bike, motorcycle.
Possible. It's hard to say.
I'm gonna keep it moving here, but I appreciate you stopping by. Any final words?
That's it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you're still eyeing Tommaso?
Yes, and I think his wife knows, but she's afraid to speak up.
We shall see. Thanks for stopping by. You be safe.
Wow, imagine that.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Imagine this case is that simple.
This special guest.
And we missed our suspect.
Right,
this guy came out here, I want to say a couple weeks into the investigation.
All is well.
All is well. Watching the world. Love it. I like it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Right.
It's a really nice, that's a nice thing.
Mel, been out there for days, weeks covering it. You went home, sitting back afar and, watching this each day. What's your take right now in this stage of this case, day 50?
You know what? So I'll tell you, when I covered Nicolas Maduro's case, right? Actually, he's going to be in court this Thursday, Nicolas Maduro. But, he said 3 or 4 times while he was in court, the judge says, hey, are you guilty or you're not guilty? Nicolas Maduro says, I was kidnapped from my living room on Saturday night by the U.S. military. I'm the president of Venezuela. So, today when I had my criminal defense attorney on, we were talking about it. And I just asked him, do you think it could be some sort of, repercussion from that? Then I asked him, I think, about Israel. You know, could it be tied to Israel in some way because of Epstein? But, you know, when you came on and you said
I just talked about that.
The thing is, when the guy looks like he's about to knock on the door, it's almost like somebody that was familiar with the property, and then they see the camera and they're like, oh, she has a camera now. I'm just saying, this is what I see when I watch the video. So this would make sense. It would explain how they know about the property. You know, a lot of details in regards to this case. So, you know, it all makes sense. You know, I basically came up to give you some support, but I don't have any wise explanation. Just letting you know I'm rocking with you.
Yeah, thank you, Mel. And you know, this is interesting because you know this gun dealer reaches out to me from Scottsdale and just says, hey, you know, support channel, thank you for what you're doing, whatever like that. Because he goes, I want to give you a heads up. They came weeks ago and he gave me these names. He gave me these names and said, you know, but he said these last names, but he didn't give me the first names of each individual. He just said, I'm going to give you last names. But he said there's also a lot of different first names affiliated with this list. So it could be like 3 of that first name, 2 of the second, you know, and so on. I don't know, but he said about 20 people they were inquiring about. And this is in Scottsdale, which is, you know, outside Phoenix, I believe is per hour and a half away towards the north. But it's interesting because one of those names, because as soon as I saw this, then the dots instantly started connecting because one of those names is one of the people here. And I've known this for a while. And, you know, those names are Iranian. They're Persian. And it seems like there's a Persian population. So going back to what you just said, you know, with this perp here, you know, well, they didn't know about cameras before, but oh man, there's cameras here now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Let me show you something real quick before I get out of here.
Sure.
I want you to look in between the guy's belt. There's a couple things I want to show you. Look in between his belt and the hand when he comes up to the camera. So you're gonna have to be very quick. Come on, let him once.
Okay. Let me put her down here so we can see. Hold on, I'll take her off.
Yeah, that'd be good. I want to show you something. I think this might be a big clue as to how the person got into the house, but I'll show you. I don't see anybody talking about it except me, so just keep clicking and we'll walk through this. Right. One more, click again, click again, click again, click again. Just keep clicking, click, 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 click. You're almost there, click. Right here, boom, right there, stop. Come back and click your way through it.
I'll go back down to 17, hold on.
And notice what's in between the gun and the hand, right here. Stop, just keep clicking right there. See right there? You see the little tool belt? It almost looks like a cell phone holder and a phone in it, but if you click it, you gotta click it one more, right? Ah, shit.
Yeah, I see where you're going at. All right, so between 16.
That's a lock. I've seen lock pick sets before. It looks like the guy has a lock right there. Stop.
Wow.
You see they have a lock pick right there?
Yeah, it's
watching the world.
It's like a black toothpick. I think this is how the guy got in. I don't see anybody talking about it.
Impressive.
So that's why I wanted to come up and show this to you. I want to show you something else too, because I don't want to take away from your show. But we got to do this more often. You know, we got to do this type of stuff.
Wow.
I want to show you something else. Let the video. So keep this in mind. Ask your fans, because you have such a long, crowd. You know, maybe somebody will identify, but I think it's an electrical belt because I've done construction before in my past. So usually the electrical belt is shorter. That looks like electrical because there's no hammer. I looked at it from a different angle. There's no handle. But look, stop it right here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now it's important for everybody to see the bright light in the person's mouth. Okay. And you're gonna have to keep doing these fast clicks, but work with me. Right there. You see the light behind the head? Hold on. Go back.
Yeah, I'm going to go back.
Go back. I'm going to show you that there's a light behind this guy's head. I feel like somebody walks up behind him. Let me show you.
I think
it's after he gets the plants. We got to get the plants.
Yeah, he's going to go back to plants. Go back.
I'm going to show you lighting behind the guy's head that he could not have done himself. I'm going to show you that.
Grabbing the plants. We all seen this a billion times.
You're just going to have to keep clicking and working with me here. Okay, so let's get everybody in sync. You see the bite light in the mouth. All right, start clicking real fast. Go frame right there. Go back. Well, just keep click right there. You see the light back behind his right eye, looking in the top left in our top left corner. You see lighting develop behind his head. Now, if you keep clicking, we're gonna see light hitting the ceiling behind his head. Just keep clicking, just right there.
Oh, there
you see there? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You're gonna see the
Whoa.
ceiling light up. This guy cannot do this himself. Let it click. Keep letting it click. Right. Keep letting it click.
Missed it.
Right there. You see the light in the ceiling?
Yeah.
That's some. Okay, now watch this. Now watch the right side where his left hand is. I want you to see how this
I'm
light
getting the
behind him
goosebumps.
is going to come right by the lock in the door. So let it play a little bit, but keep clicking. Keep clicking. Keep clicking. Now you see the light coming down here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, it could be the
Whoa.
plant, right? But I'm saying that there's somebody moving behind him with a light is causing this plant to light up differently, or this could be a cell phone or something coming down. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is my argument that once the guy secured the camera, the second guy walks in. So this is just my, hypothesis. But if you look at the lighting behind his head, I don't see how he could have done that. It's solid light in that ceiling. So that's just something that you can keep working with. But I just wanted to. There was something else. I forget what it was, but I think that's. If you look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
I find that interesting.
Yo, big welcome, Hanson. Welcome back.
The light, like you said,
right there. See, how can he create that light behind his head like that? He doesn't have a.
Maybe the plant's going down did something to the light where
Yeah, but that's now look right here. Stay right
Hey,
there.
badass big welcomes, by the way. This is why are you giving credit to and streaming a lying scumbag, woman beater. Dang, relax. Doesn't take away from him being a good investigator or a good, a good guy in the media press as far as his, how he does his job. He's still good. Doesn't take away from anything, okay? We don't know that he's guilty of whatever he did. That's none of our business. That's JRR's business. We're not even going to talk about that tonight because we already talked about that the other night. I'm minding my business. I don't have nothing to do with that.
Is that a hole in the glove?
And the guy that's making the interesting points is the guys he's talking to.
What do you think?
I saw that before too.
Yeah, you seen that before? Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So those are.
Hanson says I didn't see any light. You didn't see any light? All right, let's watch it again. Go back. Let's go back again. I'm going to show you.
Top left corner, you see lighting develop.
I'll zoom in for you as
now,
well.
If you keep clicking, we're going to see light hitting the ceiling behind his head. Just keep clicking. Just right there.
Oh, there you
see
go.
there? Okay, okay. You're going to see
I'm
the
going to pause it
ceiling
right here because I'm going to go back again, but I'm going to put the arrow where the light is at so you can see what I'm talking about here. I'll zoom in too. Let me flip the arrow. Right there. That's where the light is reflecting off of his face that he's talking about. Let me go back again.
light up. This guy cannot
Focus on
do
that part right there. You're going to see
this
the light come
himself.
on.
Okay, just keep clicking. Just right there.
Oh, there
you
you
see
go.
there? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You're gonna see the ceiling.
He's tripping
light
though
up. This-
because of the glove. That's the glove. That's the glove. The light reflecting off of the glove, right there. So that's definitely not a light. I would argue that it's not.
This guy cannot do this himself. Let it click.
But there's
Keep
another
letting it click.
part.
Right. Keep letting
Yeah,
it
we
click.
missed it.
Right there. You see the light in the ceiling?
But I can also see if you go down lower, there's a light reflecting here, and the glove is not there. So I don't know where the reflection of that light is coming from. But notice there, it looks like a light, but it's the reflector of the jacket. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
That's some okay. Now watch this. Now watch the right side where his left hand is. I want you to see how this light behind him is going to come right by the lock in the door. So let it play a little bit, but keep clicking. Keep clicking. Keep clicking. Now you see the light coming down here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
now he's pointing out the light that's coming down, like if it's a phone, right in this area right here. So, you know, because at one point it does look like some type of light drops, like if almost like he dropped the light out of his mouth, something. But he caught it or something. I don't know. I don't know where that light is coming from. That
okay,
we're seeing right there, but it kind of like drops
this light
down.
behind him is going to come right by the lock in the door. So let it play a little bit, but keep clicking. Keep clicking. Keep clicking. Now you see the light coming down here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, it could be the plant, right? But I'm saying that there's somebody moving behind him with a light is causing this plant to light up differently, or this could be a cell phone or something coming down. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is my argument that once the guy secured the camera, the second guy walks in. So this is just my, hypothesis. But if you look at the lighting behind his head, I don't see how he could have done.
Candace McWelcome, by the way, you know what? I remember hearing way back when someone was saying they think that the cops cut the video off at the exact point because another person pops up next scene. Wow. I'm not taking that away from you at all. I think that could be possible. I love JLR unconditionally. I knew a bitch would try to F him up. I didn't like her to begin with. I sensed it. I'm just saying, moving on. Yeah, that's something that crossed my mind. Not to talk about JLR, but that's something that crossed my mind as well. The fact that when you're highly successful, you're doing things good. You got things good going for yourself. You're always gonna have that person come in here and try to mess it up, or hold it against you. And threaten you of that. Of doing something if you don't do this. So that's why you got to be careful what you do, especially if you want to be somebody famous. And I think a lot of us have gone through things that we shouldn't have done. So there's no need to criticize others of what they've done or what they might have going on. And to be quite honest, I feel like he's going to get a good enough lawyer to get rid of this. You know what I mean? I don't really think it's going to be something that's going to stick. I don't think he's worried about it at all.
No, it's solid light in that ceiling. So that's just something that you can keep working with. But I just wanted to, there was something else. I forget what it was, but I think that's, if you look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
I find that interesting because then you'll start seeing the light, like you said.
Right there. See, how can he create that light behind his head like that? He doesn't have a.
Maybe the plant's
that's
going
crazy.
down.
If there's another suspect that was there and they cut it off just before that point, that's crazy. But they definitely have this entire video. I'm not putting that past them at all. They have this entire video. There's no doubt about it that the investigators that have this footage of this video weren't able to get the rest of this night. I think they have every bit of detail. But what tells me and leads me to believe that they may not have any details as far as any more footage is the fact that they're going door to door and asking neighbors what happened on if they see anything suspicious happening on 2 days, on 2 different days. So then again, it's like, do they have, any footage, in regards to this particular video that we're watching here? I don't know. I really don't know. I can't call it. I'm not saying that, that they do or don't, but I really believe, well, for me personally, what I believe, I think that they have the entire video from start to finish. Because why wouldn't Google be able to give them, I don't think that's even a question. Why wouldn't Google, if Google could go back and find this very video, why wouldn't Google be able to dig up the rest? If there's some type of code they put in because to go back on somebody's camera and pull stuff, I would only believe that they would be able to put in that code to get the rest of the remainder of that night, for each minute, each second, each millisecond. I think they could get it all. they prove that they could go back and watch your video or pick up, stuff like this while you're not even under subscription. But all it is a subscription at the end of the day. So I think with or without a subscription, they collect this information regardless. What bothers me the most is this is a neighborhood where people got money and they're not paying for a simple for a cheap subscription, $100 a month, $8 a month, most likely, maybe 10 to 15 at the most for a Ring camera subscription. Come on now. They're gonna wait for something bad to happen in the neighborhood. What's the purpose of getting a Ring camera? And then they wait for something bad to happen to start to start putting up cameras. Because one of the neighbors, Brian Intent, sat down and he spoke with them, said that her husband recently put up cameras. But I don't think you wait for something. I think you always keep in mind that anything's possible. Anything bad could happen in the best neighborhood and in the worst neighborhood. So keep your guard up no matter what, people. Keep your guard up no matter what. Don't wait for something bad like this, like what happened to Nancy, to happen for you to pretty much do it. I think doing the right thing would be putting up cameras in your neighborhood or Ring cameras, but most importantly, paying for that subscription. Come on now.
Light where
yeah, but that's now look right here. Stay right there. Is that a hole in the glove? What do you think?
I saw that before too.
Yeah, you seen that before? Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So those are just some ideas. Might not mean anything, but you never know, right?
Clues.
But there seems like it could be more here than what we know.
But you being there and you've been back in New York, right? You've been back in New York for a couple weeks.
Yes.
What do you think? Like, what's going? Like, what do you think every day? Like, what do you think's happened here? And evaluating it there at the scene, and now you're where you were at, and you're still following the case. What do you think's going on here?
I have so many different ways of looking at it, right? Initially, before they ruled the family out, okay, that was probably number one because of what some of the reporters were saying about it. So I felt like maybe the family, and I don't want to point toward their family, right? They've been ruled out. But number one was I thought, maybe the family did it and they hired this guy to be the ruse because they knew that, basically we're going to be the first ones they look at, right? Because they always say the last person to see the person likely has something to do with it. So I said, well, maybe they hired this guy to just walk up and he would be the fall guy. And once he covered the camera, then a family member came in with the key still outside, okay? But we don't know. But then that means we only have a time from 2:12 to 2:28 when her pacemaker disconnect. That's not a lot of time to go get somebody out of their bed, get them out the door, and all of that, right? So that seems a little weird. So here's the other problem, though. If the guy is still outside at 2:12, how in the world does he go around the back and find the perfect door to get into, break into the house, go get her, and then it's disconnecting? You see what I'm saying? So he
has a very, very interesting point. He has a very, very interesting argument right there.
Here's the key
Go
part.
Back. I like what he said.
Get her back and find the perfect door to get into, break into the house,
that gave me the goosebumps.
And then it's disconnecting. You see what I'm saying? So here's the key part. Brian Inton on his show, he brought out that they have video prior to that night of someone behind the house. Nothing that night. And then they have people after that night. So again, that ties into Bayes' theorem that this person must have came through the front door. Now, I don't know the situation with the sliding door on the side of the house. Is there cameras there? But again, then get the shit and all out, but we don't know. But then that means we only have a time from 2:12 to 2:28 when her pacemaker disconnect. That's not a lot of time to go get somebody out of their bed, get them out the door, and all of that, right? So that seems a little weird. So here's the other problem, though. If the guy is still outside at 2:12, How in the world does he go around the back and find the perfect door to get into, break into the house, go get her, and then it's disconnecting? You see what I'm saying? So here's the key part. Brian Enton on his...
Yeah, the only thing that would take away from that is the fact that only if Nancy left the door unlocked. That's the only thing that would take away from what he's saying. But if it's valid and it's true, that would mean that there's somebody that either it is a family member or somebody that knows the home. One of those two things, that's it. Otherwise, like I said, Nancy must have left the door unlocked. And you remember one of the neighbors said that they always keep their doors unlocked around there. One of the neighbors said that after 40-something years that they leave the door unlocked. It's up until now, they're no longer going to leave their doors unlocked. But he has a very good point. That is a very good point. But a lot of us have already thought about this 1,000 times. That's the downfall. We've already thought about it 1,000 times. But from what I heard, there was 4 to 5 entry points into Nancy's home, which would, that's a lot of doors to check. That's a lot of places to check. Just to make sure 5 doors are locked before you go to bed. That's a lot. You're 84, you're tired, you don't feel like getting up, walking around, you walk, you don't walk well as it is. Walking isn't as easy as it used to be. Walking around a big home like that, you're going to be tired. Probably a long night at Annie and Tommaso's house. It's possible she didn't even feel like getting up. Whatever, I'll be good tonight. I'm just going to go lay down. Ain't nobody going to come in this house and do anything to me. I'm safe in my neighborhood. If that's really how they all felt, I don't put it past Nancy that they left that door open. I don't put it past her at all. I mean, because it's a big likelihood that she left the door unlocked. But on the other end, it's also a very good likelihood that the perp knew Nancy. But then you think, well, what if somebody was hired to do this? And if somebody was hired to do this, I don't think it would be very difficult to give them the blueprints of the home. I think that would be relatively easy to give somebody the blueprints and let them know, hey, this is where Nancy's room is at. And like I said, we analyzed it a couple days ago. Ideally, looking at Nancy's home, I would only assume it would be very easy for me to figure out where her room is at. Just looking her, I would have a very good idea just looking at her house where her room would be. Don't get me wrong. It is a very big home. It's not a very big home. It's a fairly big home. But I pointed it out. I'll point it out again. I don't think it's very hard to figure that out and know the place well enough to I don't think y'all need somebody to tell me where things are at for me to, if I were to go in and do what they did to Nancy in this home. That's the garage. We know that's the garage right there. And that's on the side. That's on the side of Nancy's house. So being that that's the garage, I think mid-house, normally a lot of times in the middle of the home, we all know this. Most of the time, the kitchen is placed in the middle of the home. It's not hard to figure out. That would be the middle of the home. Front door is up here. So it's a very likelihood that in this area right here, this area would be the living room. So if I already observed that this is the garage, this part of the house is the kitchen, and the front area is the living room, how much left is to figure out? In this area of her house is where the rooms are at. And maybe in the front, there's a room there. But likely, when you're the only one living in the house, you live in the master bedroom. And 9 times out of 10, the master bedroom isn't in front of the house. It's in the back. So let's stop acting like this is hard to figure out where Nancy sleeps, because it's really not. You can get a lot of information on someone's home just going on Zillow. Because if this house was ever listed at once upon a time, or just even if it wasn't, you can still figure out the blueprint of someone's home without going in it. So I'm not going to just overlook the fact that, you know, they may not know somebody and they just looked it up. I think we came to realization already on this thing that this house was searched on the internet by somebody just before this all happened, just a month or so before this all went down. But that's just my take on it. I don't know how to feel based on everything that's going on. Interesting.
He brought out that they have video prior to that night of someone behind the house. Nothing that night. And then they have people after that night. So again, that ties into Bayes' theorem that this person must have came through the front door. Now, I don't know the situation with the sliding door on the side of the house. Is there cameras there? But again, this person...
There were cameras in the home, and for all we know, the cameras might have been very difficult to spot, for all we know. Or they weren't. Either they were very easy to spot, or someone knew the home well enough to know where all the cameras were at. Due to the fact of her being discovered pretty much gone or missing, happened at 11 a.m., tells me that the perp had plenty of time to figure out where all of those cameras were at. And like we all clearly observed, the perp is very, very comfortable. So if he was comfortable enough to grab some scrub and take his time, you don't think he was comfortable enough to maybe clean up the place, maybe even smash some cameras along the way? I think he had clearly enough time. At least he was acting like it, enough time to dismantle all of the cameras. Well, first of all, look for the cameras and then dismantle the cameras. It's highly possible. But for me personally, I'm still leaning in the direction of a family member or a friend inside of the family, and they knew the home. But I'm just saying, at the same time, it's really not that hard to figure out where Nancy's room is at. It's not that hard to find some cameras up on the walls. And normally there isn't very many. Normally you don't go to a home where you see people with a whole bunch of cameras. Normally people have a couple. 2, 3, one in the back, one in the front, plus the Ring camera. You don't really see too many cameras, and most people do not hide cameras. That's something I would do, though. I would hide cameras. Because when stuff happens like this, well, you never know. Because I can't even say that, because they might just know where the cameras are at.
Someone would have to be so perfectly correct to miss all those other cameras. Like, how would you do this and you don't know the property? You see what I'm saying? Unless I'm saying, hey, Jay, you got to go here, you got to go there. Because I also felt like whoever's writing those letters, when they were communicating with TMZ, I felt like the person was basically, when the feds were getting close, remember we were boots on the ground, when the feds were getting close, they said, oh, I saw her in Mexico, almost like it's somebody local. And they're like, hey, it's getting too hot. Let's write another letter and say we took him to Mexico. You see what I'm saying? And here's another point. When I was leaving, this is what I wanted to tell you. When I was leaving town and I was turning in my rental car, there was a federal agent picking up a car from Homeland Security, and he was telling the person at the front desk, while he's getting his rental car, he's saying that they were coming in to go into Mexico because they felt that she went across the border. So, but again, I've been listening out. I haven't heard anybody talking about Homeland Security, but it would explain why when I was there, we didn't see the feds searching as much as we thought we would see, right? We saw the sheriff's office, but not a lot of the feds moving. And then also while I was there, we heard Donald Trump say, well, we got to move on from the case, right? Work on something else. The sheriff is telling us, remember he told Jim, the explorer, whatever his name is, was like, hey, we don't want you to go out searching. Like if you have somebody searching, we don't know if she's deceased or alive. You assume, you hope for the best, right?
I believe Jim is one of the people who ride around on the dirt bike. JLR and them, I think at one point in time, went out to eat. But Jim is the guy that's a local guy here in Tucson, I think, that rides around on the dirt bike. And I think Jim is actually one of the people who actually discovered the abandoned home, and one of the first people that were talking about the vacant home about 4 to 5 houses down from Nancy's, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you, under those circumstances, want everybody out there searching, even from the mountaintop, right?
Yes.
So why is that the case? Maybe they felt that this is Mexico and Homeland Security went over the board. Maybe this is the reason, but we really don't know. But this is good.
No, that ain't the reason. Let me tell you the reason. I'm going to tell you all the reason. The reason is Mr. Nanos is covering up for somebody. Mr. Nanos may have been paid under the table or something like that for all we know. But Mr. Nanos is not doing his job. Mr. Nanos is out going to basketball games and working out in the gym, making sure he still looks good. Mr. Nanos is not even thinking about Nancy right now. Nancy's not even thought of. Nanos isn't even working on this investigation, as a matter of fact. He's not. You know how when a detective asks you questions, they'll come back later and they'll ask you the same question again to see if your story changes? Maybe we need to start a protest to investigate Nanos. Maybe we need to try to get somebody to investigate him, just simply because there's a lot of odd things that are going on, like him declining all of his help. Because his story has changed so many times. I don't know if you've noticed in the interviews that he's had, but there have been multiple times where Nanos' story has changed. And a lot of the times when investigators are investigating something and your story changes, they believe you're lying. So let that sink in.
I don't want to take too much from your show. I just came to give you a shout out, brother.
Thank you. Will you be covering the Blake Lively trial in New York?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about maybe going to check that out. Looks like it's in May, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'll get with you. Maybe we can go see what's going on.
And also we have Luigi Mangione coming up. So that's June.
Is it trial set?
Yes, trial is set. The state trial is for June the 8th or 9th, and then the federal trial is set for September the 8th or 9th. Back to back, because when I was in court with Luigi last time, as they were taking him out, he started yelling.
Candace says, yes, I said that from day 1 or 2. Whenever his brother died, I think he was paid off and vulnerable, and that was it for him. He was done. It's much higher than him. He's a small fry. Shish. Yeah, that's highly possible. It's highly possible. I've considered that too. I think she's talking to YG, but yeah, I mean, that's highly possible. It's highly possible. Man, I just don't know about Nanos, but I think we could really consider some investigating for Mr. Nanos. Guys, if you're tuning in, you're plugged in, and you're enjoying the stream, by the way, don't forget to thumb up the stream, like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the channel. More to come on the channel. I'm new to crime. I still have a long way to go as far as learning certain things about crime, how to, protect myself, and, just stay organized. It's a lot that I have to perfect here. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I've probably been streaming for like 4 or 5 years or so. Not that it's relevant right now, but yeah, just bear with me sometimes. I do have a long way. It's a really small channel. It's a growing channel. I do have a lot to learn and a long way to go. So just wanted to say, keep that in mind. I'm fresh to crime. I'm really fresh to crime. Someone got upset at me the other day in the comments, and they said if I don't stop, because they got upset because I called Nancy Grace. Look, I'm human. I make mistakes. I know the difference between Nancy Grace and Nancy Guthrie. And they went on to say that I said January 1st. I looked back. I did. I just wanted to let them know. My bad. Chill. But I need this. I need y'all to get active in the comments. Let me know where I'm messing up, so I can correct it and, perfect it. I did say January 1st. It said, get your shit together. Get your shit together off air. So when you come on, sir, and I mentioned this in the beginning, I'm not looking at you stupid. I felt that one, boy. I felt that one. Thank you. That would hurt, man. That would really hurt. No, it really didn't. Thanks a lot. I need that. That's why I say drop a comment below. I like to read a lot of the comments. We got a lot of people, coming in and commenting. On that last video we did, it was a lot of comments. It was like 50, maybe 41 comments or something like that. So yeah, I did want to briefly go through some of the comments and talk about some of the comments. Like I said, I won't be able to go through all of the comments, but there were some comments in reference to nanos. So I figured I'd bring it up now since we're talking about nanos right now. But Tammy was saying it too. I think a lot of people in the comments believe that nanos may have something to do with this. And Tammy says that, I said it before, I'm saying it again, always say nanos knows it. He knows it all. He still has evidence in file knowing what happened and who it was. Don't lie, nanos. That's what you're doing. And I agree. I wanted to agree with that. Just let her know. I'm 100% on board with you. I think nanos knows something. Even if he's not a part of it, something ain't right. As an investigator, as somebody that's leading the way, because, Don mentioned it the other day, we need somebody that's a leader. We need leadership, and we haven't seen any of that from nanos. So, yeah, something really isn't right. A lot of things aren't making a lot of sense, unless they're way ahead of us and we just don't realize it. But, yeah, and another person in the chat, they said, hey, he did it or was part of it or covering it up because he knows who did. His actions are not that of a law enforcer looking for Nancy. There's something odd about this. 100%. That's what I said. I keep saying it as well. I just said it just now. I earlier had mentioned something about the investigators, who's working on this, how many it is, because, nanos had got rid of everybody for the most part. Kept stuck with the rookies. Got rid of the veterans. Weird, right? Kind of weird, kind of odd. So this guy, I can't pronounce his name. We'll just say 34 Cool. He says, FBI office in Tucson, only 4 or 5 Pima LE. So I think they would know if he was involved. He doesn't actually work the case. He only knows what the lead Pima County LE working with the case, with the task force tells him. It's mostly FBI working this case now. I agree, but I think that they would keep nanos on board and informed with all the things that we don't know as well. I don't know what would stop them from telling nanos any information. Man, I don't know about that. That guy said there was a lot of evidence destroyed. I don't know about that one, but I know the blood evidence was a little bit contaminated, I think, or not contaminated. They just interfered with the crime scene, okay, in some way. And I don't know exactly what, because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but the fact that we started off the way we did was bad. And the crazy part about it is nanos doesn't care about correcting any of it at all. He doesn't care about doing anything right. It's just all about nanos. I don't know if this is the fame that he wanted, but I'm almost convinced they're going to get him out of there. I think they're going to get this guy out of office for sure. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to get enough people to vote this guy out of there. But like I said, the hard part is it's amongst Tucson, Arizona. I live in Tucson. I think I might need to go down. You know what? I do, because I think it's going to be tough for them to reach 1,000 in the city. Because like I said, you have to be within the the Pima County area to be able to go down and sign the petition, you know. So I mean, that might be tough, but who knows? It might not be. There might be a lot of people in the city that do feel like he should be kicked out of there. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Toronto, is it Toronto? I don't know how to pronounce his name. It says it's a crime in two stages one kidnapping and disappearance of Nancy. Two, I think it says, I don't know what he tried to spell. I don't know, man. That's a too big word for me. It's a crime in two stages, one kidnapping and disappearance of Nancy. Two, theoreticalization and cover up by mass people. I'm just trying to figure out what he's saying. I didn't understand that comment at all. Y'all tell me, man. What does he mean? That word's too big for me. I don't even know if I said that right. My goodness, I'm not that dang intelligent. Jesus, bro. You gotta talk smaller words for me, bro. I'm slow. All right, this is the last comment I want to touch upon because there's so many. Maybe not. Maybe we'll touch upon a couple others. It's some because I always my opinion is there's like clothes in the backpack or a change of clothes and some shoes. I guess I could change that theory and stop thinking that way. Because somebody mentioned, which was Jet Set JP, says, why would they carry a backpack around with a change of clothes if they were going to be getting in the car and going somewhere? That doesn't make sense unless they are homeless. I guess. I guess I could agree with that. That I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And it could be kind of a dumb thought. So I got to rethink that one. I'll rethink that one for sure. Somebody mentioned Nano's taking, Shirley in the comments mentioned Nano's taking a lie detector test. I think he should definitely take a lie detector test. For sure. Because there's just too many odd things that has gone on that shouldn't gone on as someone that is leading the way. He's in full control of this investigation for the most part. So I don't understand why. I just don't get it. I don't get it. He definitely needs to be investigated, period. And I stand on that one. But a lot of people agree. It seems like a lot of people in the comment section agree that Nanos has something to do with this. So I thought that was super interesting due to the fact that a lot of people are leaning in that direction. But that doesn't mean that he plays a role in this. But there's a lot of suspicion going on with Mr. Nanos, and I don't know what to think, man. I really don't. I don't really know what to think when it comes to Mr. Nanos. I really don't anymore.
Oh, you can't double jeopardy. You can't charge me twice for the same murder, So I figured in this case he'll probably go with some insanity because he's already yelling in court. I mean, it makes sense, but I'm not sure how this is going to go. But that gives you some idea.
Nice. Looking forward to
it. I want you to. Hey, there's a case tomorrow. Are you aware of the case tomorrow?
Which one? What's happening tomorrow?
Her name is Kelsey. It's a police officer. Really kooky.
So guys, I got one more interesting video I'd like y'all to see here. I'm done with the JLR thing for now. I don't know what else who else he interviews in this. Yesterday, I think JLR had interviewed a bunch of different neighbors as well. I don't know what else they kind of talked about in that video with JLR there. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other interesting things that I could miss, that I missed. I go on all night. I can go on all night with this. But the fact of the matter is I have to work in about 3 hours. But, I consider YouTube as another job as well. So I definitely got to be here too. But I don't have too much time left here. I did have an interesting video I wanted to show. I love these videos, by the way, just because they're very interesting to see how people try to put things together. And it's a guy, I don't know his name, we'll just call him Institution. I think that's what a part of his name. Call him Institution. And I believe he's doing a facial profile. He's putting together a facial profile. And I thought that was a real interesting thing. I like to see that. I think I saw a couple people do that. Besides Monk Intrigue. Some people argue that Monk was the one who started it. Niles put his opponent on the house arrest so she couldn't campaign, and other officers he put on desk duty was a guest on Duty Live last night. I just watched Duty Ron last night. Were you here last night? We watched some Duty Ron. Then I'll put his opponent on house arrest. Huh. As far as Nanos, I heard that let me see if I could find it here. I heard that Nanos was suspended 8 times during the early days of his career. And you know they're going to bring up any little history that might make you look even worse. So I can honestly say I don't really care too much about that. But it does bring suspicion and attention to what's going on right now due to the fact that, you know, because it shows a history of something going on. What that is, I really don't know. I'm not for certain, but that really is suspicious, though. It really is. I was trying to find the video, but I can't find the video, so I'm sorry to who that was who wanted to see the abandoned home. Actually, yeah, you know what? Here's what I could do real quick. Before I play this video real quick, here's what I could do. If I actually got a...
That's what it's like.
A better idea. I don't know what this guy's comparison is going to come out like because I really haven't seen this. But we'll see how it goes. If it's terrible, then we'll just kind of move on. But I just wanted to show this to y'all real quick. Because somebody was asking to see a photo. And I don't know if she's still here, but she was asking to see a photo of the abandoned home. And I was talking about it yesterday. So let me see if I can find it just quickly here. If I'm looking at the right stream here. Hold on. Actually, that might have been in my prior video that I streamed. Let's see if it's in here. About a day ago, I want to say. Yeah. Okay. And you know what? I'll screenshot this so that way in the future, if anybody else wants to see the abandoned home that he's referring to, we can look at it. Let me actually do that real quick. Bada boom, bada bang, done. All right, here it is.
Camera.
That's what it looks like.
Would have blood on it.
No, because if you notice in the video, I'm going to have to pull this video up in the middle of this video, huh? If you notice in the video, there's no blood on the ground. That's why I know that. Oh, somebody said Dad's Gone Live returned today, by the way. I didn't know he just came back today. So for the second time. Sharon says Ashley Banfield said that the same blood was splattered in identical on the floor of So this is the abandoned home that they're talking about just down the way. And I can't remember this guy's name, but he does show on pretty much on a map how close the house is. And I'll play that real quick. I think is it Chuck Norris or something like that? I can't remember his name.
Oh, okay. So I just found the vacant property, which is right here. and then you just go up this street right up here, and you eventually reach Nancy's home, which is right here. So it's about one home, which is eventually street, vacant property, figuring out who lives alone. Okay, so I just found the vacant property, which is right here. And then you just go up this street right up here, and you eventually reach Nancy's home, which is right here. So it's about...
It's likely. I'm going to stop them there. So you see this house right here, this first particular house, right next door to Nancy's house. It appears to me, just looking at this house, because I never really looked at it, that's one thing we'll go look at tomorrow. Hopefully I don't forget. Today, I'm sorry. Later on today, I'm going to go out. I was supposed to go by there, but I didn't end up going by there. Let me just keep going. Hold on. The road starts right here, but I could be wrong, but we'll find out tomorrow.
He was abducted around 2:30 in the morning. 2, 3, 4 houses down, and I believe Nancy.
Oh, there it is, right there. I just wanted to show you how close it was.
Down. 1, 2, 3.
Let's continue.
1, 2, 3, 4 houses down, and I believe Nancy was abducted around 2:30 in the morning. So the chances of her being carried down the street in like bed sheets without anyone noticing seems like it could be possible. And, you know, maybe...
You think the perp was able to carry Nancy that far? If he was able to... Anyway, yeah, so that's the abandoned home. I just wanted, for whomever that wanted to see the abandoned home. That's the abandoned home. You can check out that video if you want to go see that video. I talk about that. And, you know, also this guy's talking about it as well. Shout out to him because he's the one who actually brought it up. But that was day 49, just in case you're wondering what day that was. Not many people watched that video. Guess they weren't interested in the vacant home as I was. But that's it right there. That's the vacant home. I need to go by and see what that looks like. See for myself, get a real, you know, get a real IRL of what it looks like, you know, and take a drive from that house to, I'm sure somebody's already done this, but for myself and for my channel, you know, take a drive from that specific home all the way to Nancy's home, or not even all the way, just right down the street, because it's 4 houses down. It's kind of crazy to even think that. Anyway, just real quick, this guy does a pretty much a facial profile comparison, I think, of Tommaso and the perp. So I wanted to check this out real quick before I hop off. Just a quick look at it, see what he comes up with. And I'll just kind of skip through because I don't know how long it's going to take this guy to do this. But shouts to this guy.
Elizabeth.
I haven't even watched this video, so I don't know what to expect or how good this comparison is going to be.
Alrighty. Let's move this over here and see what we got.
They may have a wagon. Yo, you never know. Yo, good morning. Shout out, is it Northern VT? Where's that at? VT.
Damn, that's crazy.
Where y'all from? Let me know where everybody's from in the chat if you're actually listening. I don't know if anybody's tuned into the channel in their sleep. Where y'all from, man? I'm from Tucson, Arizona. You know, born and raised. I've been here all my life. So
Charlotte says there is a person of interest.
Jim's not local? I thought Jim was local.
Send it to my email, sleepintuition@gmail.com.
If I'm thinking of the Jim that they're talking about, I believe that Jim is local. Let me look that up real quick. Because maybe we're talking about a different Jim. So my bad if we're talking about a completely different Jim. But I thought Jim was local.
Hey, logic, you know. It's a very important thing.
Yeah, exploring with
How
Jim.
you doing?
Exploring with Jim is his name. Where is he from?
Yeah, did you guys see the video where I went up into that home that was being remodeled?
Is this guy local as well? I don't know who this guy is either.
There was like a fire pit, a burn.
But I believe that Jim is local because Jim was saying that he didn't want to take JLR to his house. He was saying that he didn't want anybody to know where he lived, you know, even though he knew JLR was a decent guy. You know, he didn't want to take anybody back to his home. They went out to eat for dinner that night.
Because it's kind of a different angle.
I think Jim honestly lives a tough life here in Arizona. I thought he was from
Let's get
here.
rid of this part. Because we don't even really see the nose. Oops. Guess we can't do that. We gotta erase it.
Got Australia in the building? I feel like we get a decent amount of small Australians in the building. Ohio in the building. Seattle in here. Jim's live in California? What? What do you mean? All the way from the UK? Wow. Shout out to UK. Is it Portsmouth? I can't even say that. San Bernardino. Sheesh. Remember that crazy shooting that took place? I think it was in San Bernardino. Wow.
This area right here is spot on.
If we're talking about exploring
I feel like my head kind of
with Jim, are we talking about the same Jim?
But man, that's fucking perfect.
We talking about this Jim right here?
Nefertiti's.
Because this is the guy that I was talking about that might have discovered.
FBI has never discredited the
abandoned
first
home
two ransom letters.
But maybe I could have been wrong. But he kind of goes around riding on a dirt bike at one point in time.
Yeah, you were at the house that was being remodeled there? Yeah.
At least that was the Jim I thought we were talking about.
I'm sure they probably could get me with trespassing.
Io in the building. Yo, big welcome.
I wasn't
guys.
really thinking
big
clearly.
welcomes.
I thought it may have been abandoned, but once I went in there, I realized that maybe it wasn't. But I looked online. There's nobody. I couldn't find a registered owner.
He's from California. Wow, but I thought
couldn't quite tell what was going on.
Maybe he's from there, but he lives here?
But yeah, here, I'll show
Wow,
you guys.
if he really drove all the way down here from California, that's crazy.
Let's
I
go
mean,
to
it's only
YouTube,
6 hours
go
away
to my
from here,
channel,
depending on where you
and
live
we'll
in
go up to
California.
My boots on the ground. Let's see. Give me a second. I'm pulling it up now. So yeah, I basically walked from Nancy's house. Oh no, I forgot to tell you guys this. I don't know if this means anything, but check this out. The first time this is the first place I went when I came. This is the whole reason I came.
So this guy's been here before at one point in time.
Because I wanted to go
guess.
check out the
I've never
canal.
seen him here, but
I have a light.
Right, I wanted to check out this canal system again. And then also, I wanted to check out this abandoned.
I don't know, man. To me, Jim was acting like he knew the place somewhat well. So maybe he's just been here before. Jim drives 14 hours to get to Tucson. Wow, that's crazy. He must have been here before though, because he was like driving around on that dirt bike like he's been here before.
Well, actually, it looks like it's being remodeled.
This guy's got to fix his quality here because we're
So this is about 3 houses up from
This is
Nancy's.
some
If you keep going straight
really,
right
really
here,
bad quality.
Nancy's home is just right around that bend. Like, I mean, you could throw a rock over there. You can kind of see right there is her home. So we're going to pull into the remodel. I didn't see any no trespassing signs or anything like that. And it is wide open. Like, there's literally no doors, but I still think it's I could probably get fined or hit for trespassing, perhaps. So I do
is this
apologize
the
about
bandit house that we were just looking at right now?
But check this out, guys. As soon as I came on scene,
Looks like the same house.
what do you notice that happened to my internet? Check this out. Look, I come around the back.
Oh, here it is.
Here, I'll show you the whole thing. I'll just play it. Something interferes with my Wi-Fi and totally blocks it out.
Oh, stop it. You got to be kidding me, bro. There's no perps there at all anymore? Why did that happen? I mean, what? It's not the time of the perp that the perp went there. What is he talking about? Why would his Wi-Fi... The Wi-Fi in this area, the phone signal is terrible, by the way. I've been to Nancy's 4 or 5 times, and the Wi-Fi, or not even the Wi-Fi, your internet signal is terrible in certain areas near her house. So you wouldn't really even need a Wi-Fi jammer.
I had to come back.
You wouldn't even need it.
I did this whole thing. I gave you guys a tour. I walked up to the blueprints. There was names of the company that was working there, employees. I had it all on camera. And then I walked back. I went and parked near Nancy's home.
This isn't the same abandoned home
And
we were looking
realized
at.
that I didn't capture any of it. Something had interfered with my Wi-Fi.
That's
It
not the
literally,
same. The brick.
it was
the
crazy.
house
I can't
bricks
explain it.
are Not the same.
The more and more I think about it,
this house is
it
made out
makes
of
me
bricks.
wonder if something was interfering with my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no, I don't know what home he's talking about.
So you can't see the burned pit. You can't see the burn area because I'm kind of parked over the top of it, and I don't notice it. So I don't know if you can see it here or not.
Gotcha. So
But
Jim
when I
doesn't
come
live
back,
here.
You
Okay.
can see it clear as day. And then somebody also had a bike stashed right there. Look at that. Did you see that? So I wonder if anybody recognizes this bike. They might be able to find out if they have footage of a person who stole it or not.
I think he's overthinking this. Is this guy like in his car right now?
Yeah, right there. See that bike?
Yeah, this is exactly why we're
So
getting,
maybe that's the
like,
bike
really
they were
probably
kind of
bad
using
footage.
at night.
But it looks like
to kind of lurk
It looks like the
around.
pictures get clear. This is a van. There's no way this is a staging point, or I don't know. But there's that trash can in the front that looks like it could possibly be. Is that a dumpster I'm seeing? It looks like there's a dumpster already in the other picture that we were looking at of the abandoned home we were looking
Charlotte
at.
saying, is this the home down from Nancy's? Yeah, let me pull it up on a map. I have to re-pull up everything. Like I said, it's almost like I have a brand new computer.
That doesn't look like the same house. Though. That's not the same house. So I guess he's gonna pull up a better, where it's at.
The remodel that I'm at is right here. So it's like, I don't know, maybe 4 houses down. I just said 3.
So he's saying the same thing as the last guy, 4 houses down. So it must be the same house.
Yeah, but it was very strange what happened to my Wi-Fi. Like, what the hell did that?
Bad
Why did it
signal in
happen
the
right
area,
over
dude.
that like freshly dug hole? I mean, I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but what the fuck? What the freak?
I mean, this place is completely like
Army
vacant.
green.
Like there's not. This place isn't even done being built. The other home we were
But
looking
this
at
is definitely
built.
fresh right here.
God, is
Some copper
footage is so
piping right
terrible.
there
It's
was very
quality.
deep. Then also kind of a path that goes out into the.
That's very interesting, though.
The desert that kind of separates all the properties.
Yeah, and there's like a little pathway. It looks like.
But yeah, little burn area right there in the front. That's what I wanted to show you guys. Anyway. Here's Nancy's, and this is the property that I was at. See, and this is why I thought it was abandoned. This is what I saw on Google Maps.
That's what I said, too.
Like, there was literally no roof on it.
There's nothing.
So somebody's been working on it. I think this is
So they're looking at two completely different houses. The guy that we were talking about, and so there's obviously they're like some of the neighbors are saying, or some of the people from the media were saying that a lot of the homes that are abandoned out there, but also there were a couple residents I think that mentioned that there was some abandoned homes in the area as well. So I mean, there's literally homes that are not even completely built yet. I mean, I wasn't aware of that at all. But there is another home that they're talking about as well that is fully built. Someone lives there, but they don't live there. You know what I'm saying? They live in another state. Like I said, if you're a local here, you'll understand and know that it's a retired state, and a lot of people come here from the East Coast. A lot of people live here, but only during the times it's cold on the East Coast. So people have houses in Arizona to come to a warm place when it's cold up east. Yeah, but those are two completely houses. I just talked about this house that I'm looking at earlier.
Yeah, that was that couldn't have been November.
The guy that he's talking, this guy's talking about a completely different home.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that was.
I don't know where exactly this house is at, but I guess I gotta look at two different abandoned.
But yeah,
homes.
we definitely have a match as far as the head shape, right?
Yeah, we know that that's not the perp in front of Tommaso on the surveillance video. That we know that's not Tommaso. Yeah, the owner lives in Texas, from what I heard. Yes, that's correct. I would only assume that owner comes here during certain times, like he comes here during the winter time when it's cold. I don't know.
Cadaver
Texas
dogs
isn't
would
up
have
east, so that
alerted
wouldn't make
if
any sense
Nancy's
at all.
body was in the vicinity. Yeah, but
so yeah, I would take it that only assume at that point that it's somebody that they really actually don't live there. They just own a home here. They have a home here.
Hammer or something, clothing, tennis shoes, some things that didn't quite burn very well. How can anybody do this and lie and live with themselves? I cannot even fathom the thought of harming anybody in any haunting way. Yeah, just imagine the guilt. Like, how would you live with the guilt? So that's what makes me think the person might be a psychopath.
So he's saying so far as a match, then he goes on later on to match up. Let's see what he does here.
Okay, and another thing that you guys asked me to do was take a photo with the mask on because I have a full beard. and to see what that does. I know it's kind of scary. But I mean, look how poofed up it is down here. Look at that. There's no way this person had a full beard.
It's completely different from his. His whole face structure is completely different from the perp.
You can see he has something going on. Right? Oh, that's way too big. Okay, person is the tips of their
it doesn't
ears.
Seem like he's very
up.
good at lining things up here. Well, he's not really given the. I want to see the whole. Whoa, that looks like Tommaso when he did that. Jesus.
See that?
That really looks like Tommaso from that angle. Jesus Christ. Why does that look like Tommaso?
See that?
My goodness. Guys, what the hell? Am I tripping? Why does that look like Tommaso? Why does that angle look like Tommaso from the side? Oh my God.
Go.
Like, freeze it right there when he puts the hair on there too. Especially when he puts like the hair, but the face structure. It looks like Tommaso. Like, what in the what? That literally looks like Tommaso from the side. I'm not joking. Like that's really odd. But I'm still not convinced it's Tommaso, and I don't want to believe it's him, but Jesus, that looks like Tommaso in that angle in that picture.
Of their ears stick up. See that? Is going to appear to be somewhat like a Kia Soul. So regardless if there's a Kia Soul in the video of the two backpack man, the question is, does it even matter? Is the video... I get rid of all that crap.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where this guy's going with this. He seems like he's not the best. He might be kind of new at, doing the facial comparisons, but there's a couple moments where he did a pretty decent job. That looks really close to Tommaso, guys. I don't know. That's tough. My goodness. It's hard to look past Tommaso sometimes. But then there's also people like Carlos, and then we got people like Dominique, and then we got Kalila, who have certain similarities and traits that the perp...
I'm not making any sound.
It's tough. Yeah, that could be you if you draw it right. Yeah,
man, we really reaching all due respect,
comparisons that they
away
do
from the facial stuff
are very
for
tough.
A few weeks. We can look at different stuff to work on.
I don't know. I'm not buying it.
All right, we'll go work on it.
He's got a little bit of ways to go. Yeah, he got some work to do. Somebody told him already to go work on it because he's definitely not switching it up and doing the comparison like we want to see. We really want to see an actual comparison. We don't want to see him just drawing lines. But it definitely, from that angle that he had, it definitely looked like Tommaso for a little minute there. I'm not going to lie. Guys, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and tuning in tonight. I got to go. I got to work in about 2 hours. I've stayed on stream for about 3, maybe a little less. we'll continue this thing. We'll keep this thing alive as much as we can. Continue to stay tuned in. Drop a comment below. Like I said, let me know how I could perfect myself more as far as doing this. I'm new to crime. This channel's very small. I got a long way to go. Lot to learn. Stay tuned in, man. We'll keep going. Shout out to everybody who's came in and tried to help me out with new updates and, you know, expressing their opinions and sharing their speculations and what they think, and, you know, just being here and you know, having a conversation with me about this investigation. It's been super, super interesting. So I'm excited to see what else is going to come based on this investigation. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, what a shithole we're in as far as this whole thing that's been going on. Like how crazy this has gone. Much love, guys. It's your boy YouTube Juice. Tune in with me tomorrow night. I'll be live tomorrow if you guys want to tune in for the stream. I hope everybody has a good night and a good morning, depending on what time it is for you. Much love, guys. I'm up out of here.